The women's Six Nations juggernaut rolls onto Leicester as England hosts Scotland in round 4. Scotland suffered a defeat last weekend at home to Italy, whereas England got the job done in Cork.
This crowd have certainly come to see if this green wave of Ireland will continue to grow. The first Irish woman to score against England in 6.5 years. Back inside to Jones. England finally assert themselves on this fixture. That's how you bulldoze your way to 5 points. This England machine is still rolling.
So England are 3 from 3 despite a slight scare in the first half against Ireland. Scotland's defeat last week against Italy leaves them in 5th. Earlier today there was something of a thriller in Parma. Italy took it right down to the wire. It was the 78th minute before France put some clear blue water between them and the Italians, setting up next week's encounter at Twickenham nicely if England can get the job done today. Tomorrow Wales take on Ireland in Newport at 3 o'clock to wrap up round 4. And we have all bases covered here. Scotland's Deborah McCormack is flanked by England's Simon Middleton and Katie Daly-McLean, enjoying the beautiful Easter weather here in Leicester. Katie, 3 from 3 sounds quite straightforward, but there have been some bumps in the road.
There has. You know, we expect England to be clinical, we expect them to be accurate. Probably saying that opening round they weren't. I think they were better against Wales, but that Ireland side really challenged them in the first half of last week's game. So I think we'll expect England to continue to grow and to continue to get better.
Defeat at home to Italy, not the preparation that Scotland would have wanted for this one.
No, absolutely not. And I think Scotland will be frustrated, disappointed with that one. It's not the Scotland side that we've seen in recent weeks either. So a big game today, they're going to want to bring everything to this game. And as Katie said, there are ways to get into this England team.
John Mitchell loves to ring the changes. We know that. 9 more changes to his starting lineup today. Would you be making that many changes at this stage in the tournament?
Well, it's always interesting to see how our coach goes about making rotations and looking at his players. I'd have done it differently. John certainly does it his way. He doesn't seem to have any issues whatsoever rolling the squad for whatever game it is, and that's because he's got great confidence in his players.
Indeed he has. Let's find out who they are with Sonia McLaughlin and the team news.
And it's all change for England after approaching near strength against Wales and Ireland, while Scotland have got a couple of key players missing today in Leicester. It's a pivotal game for former England captain Marley Packer. She's not featured since round 1 against Italy. It's precious game time with World Cup selection in mind. It's one of 9 changes, with Holly Aitchison, the 3rd different fly half England have used this campaign. A new look back line, centre Jade Sheckles starting for the first time. Alongside Ellie Kildunn and Meg Jones, the trio all featured for GB7s at the Paris Olympics. Now Scotland without influential skipper Rachel Malcolm, who has concussion. Evie Gallagher moves to blindside to replace her with Jade Conkle in at number 8. They're also missing another significant player in Leah Brebner-Holden, who's injured. So Katie Mattison starts at scrum half. But all eyes on England's Marley Packer. Can she seize her chance? Here's England coach John Mitchell.
Yeah, what a super person, to be able to, take the news of losing captaincy. But at no stage has that watered her desire to contribute to the group. So she gets her opportunity today. I've heard parts of the media, written media, sort of say this is an experimental side. I think that's somewhat disrespectful to this group. This group is a very athletic selection, and Marley is obviously one of the more experienced players that she'll certainly put her head in the spokes and take the team forward.
Is it beware a wounded Marley Packer today? How angry do you think she'll be, and up to prove a point?
Yeah, it was going to be a tough day for Scotland, as it was, but with Marley in the mood she'll be in. To be honest, Marley loves a challenge, and this is the ultimate challenge for her, so you wouldn't bet against having a top performance today.
And of course there is strength in depth all over the place, and the back row is not the only one with potential positional changes. You picked out a couple of key areas where you see some battles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the scrum half battle will be really, really interesting. You've got Lucy Packer, who's been called up today, and you've got Mo coming off the bench, and they both play very different types of games. And then on the wings, you've got Jess Breach is missing out today, but you've got Claudia McDonald come back in. So there's some great battles today for sure.
Deborah, we asked you to pick out 2 Scotland players that you thought we should be keeping an eye out today. Fran McGee, of course, is one of them. Evie Gallagher, the other one that you immediately said these are the 2.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 standout players for Scotland, both topping the stats charts in the Six Nations so far. And we can see Evie Gallagher, she's so strong, she's so ferocious around that breakdown. And I think she's going to be key for Scotland today in that defensive effort of trying to slow England down. And in attack, Fran McGee, if Scotland can get her the ball, I think she can do wonderful things. She just has an inch of a gap and she can get through those dancing feet, that agility, that searing pace. Scotland need to get her the ball, and I think she'll have fun
today. They've got to build the platform, haven't they, Scotland today? An interesting choice in Jade Sheckles at 12, and that's an area that perhaps is not the strongest. There isn't the strength in depth, maybe, as there is in other areas, so it's a real opportunity.
It's a huge opportunity, you know, first start, second cap. I think for me, it's one position where John Mitchell hasn't got a named understudy. You know, Tatiana Hurd is your front runner. She's the girl that comes, she carries. And you see here, Jade offers the same physical profile. You know, she's physical, she's got good footwork, she attacks the line, she carries well. So I think for me, this is a huge opportunity for Jade Sheckles to really make a mark and to really challenge Tatiana Hurd and potentially get in that World Cup squad.
And England today will be, all these players will be looking to prove a point with that, you know, squad coming ever and ever closer for the World Cup. And as I said to Katie, they look like it's been fairly straightforward for them, but Ireland proved last week in the first half there are ways that you can frustrate them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Ireland really rattled England, and it's happened a couple of times with England at the start. Teams have got into England at the start, and you have to match England for attitude. You've got to match them for energy, and if you can do that and get a foothold in the game, then you know you've got a chance. But I agree, Scotland have got to get their outside backs on the ball today.
Where do you think Scotland have kind of clicked best within this tournament so far? Which periods of which games have you said, yes, this is the Scotland we know we can get the best out of?
It's when they start well, so they have to have that fire, that energy. Simon, you were saying earlier that it lagged last weekend. They couldn't get started in that game, so they have to bring that energy from minute 1 today.
And I think the interesting thing is England score their most amount of points in that last quarter of games. So actually, if you're a team that wants to stay with them, you know they're going to be dangerous at the end. You know their bench is so dominant. You've got to start well, because if you're not, it becomes a really long 80 minutes.
And they've had a habit of conceding first, haven't they, in this tournament as well? A quick start from Scotland, that's what's being looked for today. Heather Lockhart is alongside Sarah Orchard today. Casey Daly-McLean is going to put her sprinting shoes on and get up to the commentary box as well.
Well, welcome to Welford Road. We're going to have Scotland coming out here first shortly. Just a warning, it is a bit greasy out here at the moment. As we can see, Rachel McLachlan is coming out onto the field on the occasion of her 50th cap. The team following her, there is McLachlan on your screen. She made her debut back in 2018. She left her days as a Scottish judo champion, hasn't looked back, never regretted it, and no doubt about to receive all the congratulations from her team as well. They're going to need her experience, they really are today. And it's a very tight spot there at Welford Road to come out onto the pitch. It's very tiny, so you get the teams one at a time today, as Scotland just line themselves up. Still a little bit of rain coming down, so they won't be kept there too long. But here come England, of course led out by their skipper, Zoe Aldcroft. And you can see they've got some mascots with them. We've got Imogen Blythe today from Bingham Rugby Club, Tabitha Breslin from Daventry, Aggie Davis, she's from Nottingham Casuals. More fans there in the crowd watching on of their heroines who are coming onto the field of play. We also have another little mascot today in the name of Oliver Packer. Now, you might be thinking, I've heard the name Oliver Packer before. That is, of course, Marley Packer's son. There he is with Mummy, lining up, ready to go. He's done this a few times. He's a bit of an old pro at the grand age. I think he's nearly 5. So, you know, well done, Oliver. He knows exactly what he's doing. And, of course, England could win a triple crown here today. Scotland could take a famous victory with the odds stacked heavily against them. But, of course, first up, we will have the anthems, starting with Flower of Scotland. Well, I think it's safe to say Oliver Packer has stolen the show there, but it is time for Mummy to do her thing, of course. Right, let's take a look at these two sides. 9 changes for England, 5 come in the forwards. Kelsey Clifford and Sarah Byrne come in as the starting props. Rosie Gallagher returns to the second row, while Maddie Fernarti is back wearing 8 as Marley Packer plays for the first time since round 1 in the back row. 4 changes though in the backs. Lucy Packer and Holly Aitchison, they team up as the half-back combination, while Jade Shekels, she gets a first start at 12, and Claudia MacDonald, she's also restored on the other wing. Well, as we move on to Scotland, and there are 3 changes for them. 1 positional for head coach Brian Eason. In the forwards, regular skipper Rachel Malcolm is out. It means Bristol's Evie Gallagher, she switches to 6, as Harlequin's Jade Conkle, she comes in to start at 8. A firefighter is her regular trade. Into the backs, you've got Trailfinders Katie Mattison. She comes in at 9 to partner Loughborough's Helen Nelson, who captains the side from fly half today. The rest of the back line, a consistent selection in the Six Nations, 10 to 15 unchanged for a 4th time. On the benches, and there could be 3 debuts for Scotland. That's a big number. Gemma Bell, Rhea Clark and Rachel Phillips, all fresh and ready for Test rugby. Well, it's time for us to say a very good afternoon to former Scotland international Heather Lockhart. This is going to be a real test, as we just get a flash on our screens of our referee today, Clara Munarini of Italy. It's her 7th Women's Six Nations campaign, of course. But Heather, what do you want to see from Scotland today?
I think given the match against Italy last week, I think the kick chase is going to be absolutely key. The atmosphere is fantastic today, and I'm sure Scotland will put up a performance to be proud of, to coming back after that loss to Italy last week. And England, everything to play for, World Cup on the horizon.
Yeah, of course, as the crowd get ready, they're keeping themselves warm. It has been quite a chilly day here today in Leicester. I think anyone who was expecting a fine spring day has been a little bit disappointed. But once again, don't forget it's a World Cup year. There is so much for everyone out there to play for. And this is round 4 of the Women's Six Nations. England against Scotland. We're about to get underway. A triple crown could be won by England. Scotland, they're looking to put some demons to bed after that loss to Italy last week. And we're underway in Leicester as the ball goes long from England down that far side channel. Just about kept in play, but it's gone forward from a Scottish hand. And already gifted position here for England inside of the Scottish half, Heather.
Yeah, that's just what we're talking about last week. You can just see a really high ball, lots of hang time, and just it's a greasy ball. We've had that that rain earlier, and just not being accurate at that restart.
Well, England made absolute mincemeat of Ireland at the scrum last week, and you can see once again they have that extra weight behind them. They use it to great effect, and despite the changes in the front row, it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference to them. So Lucy Packer, no relation of Marley Packer, just the same surname, gets the ball there in at the scrum. Big shove on from England, penalty advantage coming as well. A free shot then, Shekels looks up, tries to see if she can find space. Wonderful attempt to slow her down by Lisa Thompson. Aldcroft. Into the 22 for the first time. Kildun. You can see what Scotland are trying to do here to slow down this English attack. Packer. Eyes up, crossfield kick from Aitchison, charged down, really well worked on that occasion by Bonner. Harlequin's lock making her presence known for Scotland. Spun out then to Marley Packer. McDonald on the left wing. She pins her ears back but can't quite get there. Well held, foot in touch, and Scotland can breathe as we say good afternoon to Katie Daly-McLean.
It's a nice build-up play by England, isn't it? You see here Holly Aitchison, lovely little ball threaded between Meg Jones, and great link from Marley Packer. You know, she's been loitering in that edge channel, wants to carry, but really smart decision to give that ball to Claudia McDonald.
Yeah, she's such a threat, Claudia McDonald. Already got a try to her name against Italy in round 1 and scored against Scotland twice 2 years ago.
Here we go then, field position for England. Line out inside of that 22, Lark Atkin-Davis. England yet to lose a line out so far in this Six Nations campaign. Clean to the front, and Scotland know they have a job to do here. Packer, Shekels. Nice work from England as Dow escapes, and still Dow going. Such an important tackle coming in from Scotland. Shekel alive to it.
Tackle! Back.
Packer, Atkin-Davis, Aitchison, Kildun gets that last pass out, but it's not quite execution. Arm in the air.
Option.
England maybe forcing things.
Option.
Early days here.
Yeah, potentially, you know, we've seen them go through their forwards. We know how dominant the likes of Sarah Byrne, Kelsey Clifford could be on that close carrying. And like Heather said, it is a bit greasy out there. I think here it's a nice play, but it's well read. Good decision by Rona Lloyd there to get out the line and get high. Abby Dow, yes, skips through that tackle, but Scotland recover. I think that's, for me, is what Scotland's going to have to do defensively. And here, again, England played wide early. The space is there. It's a good decision by Ellie Kildun. It's probably just poor execution.
Yeah, good to see Scotland getting off that line, though, with intent. Better than last week.
And that's all you can do, isn't it? That's the thing that's going to make a difference. When you get an opportunity, go pressure England, force them to make that pass.
Absolutely.
Reset. Hold your body, please. Let's go.
There you go, a little bit of a warning going in there to Loughborough and Young.
Let's go again.
Nod of the head. Anne Young, 25 years old now. Ellie Kildun, World Player of the Year, watching on. What a Six Nations she's already had. 4 tries to her name.
Crouch. Bind.
Okay. Early there from Scotland, so England get the free kick. Lucy Packer taps and goes. Byrne. What an impact she made from the bench just last week in Ireland. Gets her starting shot this time out. Popped off ball. Packer. Round she goes. Byrne again. Packer once again. This is looking threatening from England. Fenati on the end of that one. Waiting. Still more England shirts offering and scoring. They let Wales score against them first in round 2. It was Ireland in round 3, but England won't make the same mistake again. They get the opening try. Kelsey Clifford, she gets the celebration as well. She scored last week, she's scoring again.
She did, and she's in very, very good form. I think that, for me, is just really smart play by England. We saw previously they went to the edge, it didn't work out then they went to their big girls, and they're so powerful. And the thing that's really interesting about England, for me, is how many of them they've got. Over 70% of gain line. So there, you've got Sarah Byrne, good tackle by Jade Conkle, stops her, but she makes gain line. Then is it Abby Ward in there? No, and then, oh no, it's Maddie Fenati, and then this one, Kelsey Clifford. And just the momentum that they generate.
Yeah, excellent patience.
Holly Aitchison adds the extras, and that'll take a little bit of pressure off her as well, because we're going to be talking a lot about fly halves, particularly this week and next week against France as well. But worth saying that England last week, it took them 34 minutes to get a try against Ireland, so they'll take 5.
Yeah, and I think it just came from that kick-off, and Scotland just need to get that area to just get a bit more pressure on England.
Play young with foot.
Well, England with the clearance there, and well dealt with, Kildan.
Yeah, it's a really smart kick, isn't it? And I think for me, this is why Ellie's is kind of demanding that 15 shirt. You know, we know how good she is ball in hand, but it's just the sensible stuff, you know. Stops the ball with her foot, good control, puts Scotland back on the halfway line. Just really smart 15 play.
Bristol's Lana Skeldon there, scrubbing down that ball. 78th cap for her today. Well, there was almost an England hand on that. Nelson on the ball, finds Thompson. Now that is the first carry for Scotland, and they just need to find a way forward. Of course, Helen Nelson, captain here today. Big shuffle coming forward this time by Young. Skeldon. Bonner. They're trying to flip it out, or with the pass to Rolly. This is nice. Trailfinders Chloe Rolly. Scoring last week, doing what she could against Italy.
Stop, 9.
Long pass eventually ends up in the hands of Nelson, who sends the kick to Kildan, who's trying to dance her way past Rona Lloyd. Wonderful footwork from Kildan. Gallagher. Aitchison. Clifford. Couldn't quite take that, although we've got the sparkling sunshine here now, it still will be a bit greasy out there.
Yeah, Scotland pinned back in their own half, and then suddenly Emma Orr found Chloe Rowley on that wide angle there, and the cross kick. But look how Ellie Kildan just fields that, such a dangerous. And Scotland just managing, Rona Lloyd just managing to take her down.
Do you know what I love about that? It's the fact that Ellie's just glanced over her shoulder there. She knows where Rona Lloyd is, so she knows she doesn't want to turn in. She's got to turn out. And again, it's just these little bits where they look very simple and obvious, but when you're under pressure, when you're going back, when you've got your back to the ball, it's what makes the best even better than good players.
Yeah, she gave herself time. Imagine just like back to it and still time to do that. Good kick from Scotland though. Put England under a bit of pressure there.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, Madison does get the ball in. Scotland have to get that out quickly. Well dealt with Evie Gallagher as it goes to Nelson. Now to Thompson with the touch through. They're chasing down that left-hand side. It goes out of play. So a bit more territory for Scotland, but they've given the ball back to England.
Yeah, it was interesting. Last week against Italy, Scotland very much didn't win the tertiary battle, and they kicked to the back three. I think here they're trying to get more down the tram lines, get that angle, because if you give the angle to Ellie Kildun, she's just going to run all day and give it to her.
And I think the option is good because the back feels empty. I think it's just execution there from Lisa Thompson. You know, she wants that to stay in field, so England have to take that out and Scotland get possession.
Oh, nice poach there from Lana Skeldon. That's the first time we haven't seen the England line-out function this entire Six Nations. Here comes Scotland in the attack inside of the England 22. Mattinson, Conkle. Is this the Scottish opportunity they have to exploit? Oh, what a steal by Sarah Byrne. First class play by the Bristol tight head, and a penalty as well. Scotland not releasing the tackle play.
Yeah, great take here by Lana Skeldon, making yards as she always does on her 78th cap, but look at Sarah Byrne. They've just turned that ball over, and now they're back in the Scottish half.
I don't know if we know a record for how many line-outs a team has ever won in a row, but England just lost their first line-out after winning 45. That's not bad.
Wow. We can probably let Lark Davies off for that overthrow then.
Yeah. Aldcroft down to Packer. Aitchison. Bernardi getting involved there. Byrne. Back it goes. Kildun. Little kick through. Straight out of play though. You can see what England are trying to do to break the line.
You're in front of the kicker.
But there is quite a breeze out there. Katie, you were down pitch side a little bit earlier. It's not calm out there. It's not the cleanest spring day.
Open a bit.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a wind in it. It's definitely worse on pitch level. I think then from Ellie, though, again, it's a good decision. It's just poor execution. You know, she's seen the space. She's tried to hit a roller, so she wants to hit over the top of the ball, so when it bounces, it rolls on. But she's just overcooked it and put it straight out.
And it's interesting, it's grass today. It's not artificial pitch. Different bounce of the ball.
Thompson. Katie Maddison, who did actually have 7 caps for England.
Tackle now!
Under World Rugby's rules, she was allowed to switch as England still the ball on the floor. Byrne gives it straight back, though, to Gallagher, who said, thank you very much. We'll carry on with what we were doing, thank you. Bonner.
Backwards, play on. Stay on, back right.
Nelson.
Stop 9.
High one in the air. Or manages to just touch it back. We've got McLaughlin there with the distribution coming in at scrum half. Thompson with the pass out towards the far side. The flying feet then of McGee, but can't quite deal with the pressure that came down on her, because England will be keeping a very close eye on Fran McGee. She can beat defenders like no one else in this Six Nations.
Absolutely, 24 defenders beaten, top of the league for that, and line breaks as well, along with that. Abby Dow, 7 line breaks. Such an exciting player, and great to see Emma Orr just getting involved there, getting a touch back. She was nullified by the Italian midfield last week, but very much on it today.
That one taken in the air by Gallagher. Dow. Atkin Davis. Big run through by Clifford. Packer. 5th carry for Kelsey Clifford, that one, as Ellie Kildun is being a bit targeted by Scotland at the moment. Gallagher.
First, play on.
Oh, that's a steal.
Let's go, play on.
Well, Scotland want the penalty. They don't want to play on.
Use it! Yep, behind.
The problem was England listened and released to the ball. That to get on with it. High from Mattinson. What a take by McDonald! She flew through the air. Did she know the last pass was out there? Too late.
Back, right!
Scotland have to clear.
Play on.
Calm heads required by Scotland after that scare from the flying Claudia MacDonald.
Okay, knock on blue.
But it was knocked on the floor, so we will have an England scrum. But let's have a moment for the flying Claudia MacDonald.
Okay, for me,
yeah, I mean, if you ever need how to take a high ball, this is it. Coming forward, doesn't take her eyes off the ball, gets up in the end. It is so important because it means defenders can't touch you. It gives you a bit of safety, especially with the changes. And I think she just didn't know Ellie Kildun was so close out of her shoulder. You can see there, coach and box could see it from up high. But it's a great bit of skill from Claudia MacDonald.
Absolutely superb athlete. In the air, with the hands, can play scrum half too. Superb athlete.
Credit also to Rona Lloyd, who was underneath and let her go.
Absolutely good decision. Great turnover there by Evie Gallagher. There was a bit of hesitation. Got to play that referee.
Do you not think they're the ones where Scotland needs to be a bit savvier? Don't lift the ball, just keep a hold of it, make it really obvious, and then just to being a bit more savvy to get that penalty, because you don't want that advantage. You want the penalty, you want to exit, you want the line out.
You want the territory, absolutely.
More space here from there. From there. Yeah, more space, yeah.
More
your
space,
shoulder,
yeah?
Your shoulder, not your space, your shoulder. Yeah, yeah. To the left.
I do love it when props question what referees have said.
No head to head, please. Come to the left. Thank you very much. Say it again.
Yeah, just not head to head, as the ref saying.
Heather, when you were packing down, you always listened to what referees said, didn't you?
Most of the time I was just concentrating and trying hard to push.
Crouch!
And Katie, that's all you ever asked of your forwards, wasn't it?
Right, get low, hit harder. I think, isn't that just the 101 of scrummaging?
Set!
There's some power in that scrum. There's a penalty coming as well. Fayanati picks and goes. Still Fayanati. Eventually she is stopped. Round the corner they go once again. It's another try. And it's a 50th try for England's Marley Packer. She has been stuck on 49 now since last autumn. And she finally brings up the 50.
And she will be very much aware that that was her 50th try. Look, we talked about her pre-show that she was going to have to put a performance, that pressure's on for that 7 shirt, and moments like this are huge, you know. You want confidence. It's a great carry from Maddie Fayanati. First of all, really good scrum there, isn't it? England get the nudge, they get underneath it, driving Scotland back. As soon as that advantage goes, she goes, and it's a great carry. You know, Rachel McLaughlin is a good defensive 7 there. And then Marley Packer, all the savvy, you know, head up, speed a ball, don't let it slow down, don't let Scotland set straight over the line.
The extras added by Holly Aitchison of Bristol as the calm head there of the head coach, John Mitchell, watches on. But Packer knew exactly where that try line was.
Yeah, she scored in the last 4 times against Scotland. She's got 8 tries. That's her 9th try. Absolutely outstanding. And she's just got real grit, real determination, everything that England needs.
Jade Sheckles, who's made a name for herself for Team GB on the 7 stage, went to the Paris Olympics. Trying to take her shot here, her opportunity in the 15s game. Wearing that 12 shirt. Only a 2nd cap for her today as England try and find a way out of their own half.
Use it!
Packer. Rolly. Tries to just get the better first of MacDonald, can't get past Sheckles. Really relying on the likes of Chloe Rolly today. Scotland, as Marley Packer goes in, eventually told to take her hands away. Helen Nelson, her footballing skills required. Kildun takes. The crowd absolutely love it when she runs. Here comes Meg Jones. Kildun down the outside, but eventually a foot on the whitewash. And Scotland will get a nice line out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But Scotland had a great defensive line there. Ellie Kildun just trying to find a space, had to go right to the edge, but was smart, stayed on the edge, and just not quite getting it there, just in touch. But smart play.
I like England's versatility, you know. yes, we know they like the shape and the structure, but these are just moments of heads-up rugby. Ellie Kildun's identified they've got a 2-on-1. She's getting a 9 to jump, a 9 to travel, make defenders make decision. Yeah, yes, foot and touch, but it's just a bit different from England. We haven't seen this in the previous 3 games.
Skeldon is Scotland's most experienced player right now as she gets the ball in. Here comes Scotland through McLachlan. Sent down the field by Mattinson. The bounce of the ball is good for Scotland. Waiting underneath, and that one calmly was Fran McGee. Really alive to it.
Sorry.
Gallagher. Nelson. Oh, and a steal by Allcroft, the England skip. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. And Zoe Allcroft knew where that ball was going. What a steal for try number 3.
Yeah, England have been, excuse me, England have been doing this all game so far. Defensively, their line speed's great, but getting their outside edges high. And this time it's Zoe Allcroft, you know, we know how quick and athletic she is. She just gets in the passing channel. They want to stop England going to the edge. You see her here, Abby Ward, she goes up and she just keeps going. It's really smart defensive play. And you can't underestimate how hard that is, because when she goes, she loses that inside connection, so she has to keep going there. Start to just chop her feet a little bit, ball in hand, and then she goes again. And it's really hard, because if Helen Nelson gets over the top, Scotland are away. Really good, smart defensive play by Zoe Allcroft.
Yeah, it's a great read by Allcroft. Absolutely knew that they've been going out the back all the time. Rowley, they've got it done a couple of times, but read it that time superbly.
Such a physical ball carrier, you know. We're used to her running into people, but when she's in free space, she's also deceptively quick.
It's like watching a prize racehorse galloping its way to the finish line. And that's what Zoe Allcroft is to this England side.
Backwards.
Not cleanly taken by England. Kildun with the tidy up job, and she has got some welly on that boot. Scotland are under all kinds of pressure here. We've seen some nice touches from them, Heather, but they just don't seem at the moment to be string a few things together.
Yeah, it's just at this level, it's the fine margins, it's the not getting the penalty there, and then the intercept try there, but they're doing the right thing. But they're excellent kick there, kick territory there by Kildun.
It's also interesting that Scotland keep kicking to Ellie Kildun. She's had 3 lovely exits. If I'm kicking that restart now, I'm saying, look, we need to go somewhere else, because this isn't working for us.
Exactly. Stuni Munutsi, Italy last week as well. I was saying, kick to the tram lines, not down that middle. Fran McGee picked up 1, but it's risky.
Well, that was a line-out routine that Scotland can quite happily forget. I mean, Sarah Bonner got the ball, but they're just complete lack of communication there. And we've talked about just a couple of changes to this Scotland lineup. Jade Conkle coming in to start at 8 there. After their regular captain Rachel Malcolm off, so Eva Gallagher has moved in at 6. There's not too many changes there, but after what happened last week about Italy, you do feel that Scotland will be second-guessing themselves.
Yeah, I think the lineup that's a solid pack. And Evie Gallagher, Jade Conkle hasn't played against England in 3 years. It's a big occasion for her, but they are just not getting the processes quite right. And but Malcolm definitely is a good line-out operator, and will be missed today in that out department.
Set!
Once again, more dominance coming from this English scrum. Aitchison, cross-field kick, but no.
13 in front of the kicker. Let's go back.
England will be brought back. Dow thinks she's over.
13 in front of the kicker. Let's go back.
Well, there was a penalty for England to come back for.
Angle.
See what you can do, but you can see Chloe Rowley in your top of your screen. She was prepared for that. She's tucked in. As soon as that penalty advantage, she's gone out to the space. And it'll be interesting whether England have identified that and look to go somewhere else with that kicking game, or whether they would back Abby Dow in the air.
Holly Aitchison hasn't really done anything wrong yet so far in this fixture, as that the pressure's raining down on the 2 leading England fly halves. Her and, of course, Zoe Harrison. What a heave as England push towards the line. Here comes the maul. Who's at the bottom of the washing machine? Is it Packer again, or is it held up? Held up.
Hold up.
So they're like
sacking it, obviously, and then they're
Okay.
going again trying to hit.
I didn't see any player trying to collapse, but I'll have a look. Yeah, no problem.
Zoe Aldcroft right in the referee's ear there,
Okay.
saying that Scotland were trying to collapse, but good call there by the referee, not grounded.
Absolutely, I think that was superb work there by Anne Young, loose head prop there. Just get right low, under sacrificing yourself, getting underneath that ball to hold it up, along with Rona Lloyd.
McDonald, Aitchison, Kildunn. Bonner thought about going for a nibble, but she was well dealt with. Shekels, big hand off there by the sevens player. Showing that she can mix it with the 15s. Aldcroft.
Say again?
Packer, they're going to try and dominate down this left wing.
Oh, no!
Eventually the ball gets spun out. More forwards available.
Stay there!
Clifford is available once again, knows where the try line is, isn't tackled yet, but stolen there, I think, by Conkle. Scotland with the opportunity, the breakaway there through Rona Lloyd, and Scotland have got to find a way to get the ball out of where they are.
Use it!
That's the 5th turnover Scotland have won,
In front.
as Nelson sends the ball towards this near line, and danger averted for now.
Yeah, we talked about Jade Conkle, how this is her first match against England in 3 years, plays in the PWR, captain at Harlequins, and that was a superb turnover. And again, great hands by Lana Skeldon there just to get the pressure away.
Gallagher.
And then there's a 6. 6 from the side.
The 6 there is Gallagher, who's given away the penalty. So penalty advantage here to England. Packer with the distribution out down the line. Not clean there for England. It's down on the floor. Referee hasn't seen it. McDonald's broken away. Will this be given as McDonald slides to the line? A nice finish by Claudia McDonald. Her 18th try. The Exeter woman taking her opportunity. And England already with 4 on the board on 26 minutes.
Be interesting to see this back. I think from our perspective it looked like it was knocked on as this plays through there on Holly Aitchison. I can't see from this angle whether she touches it. But it's a great finish by Claudia McDonald. We know how balanced she is. She absolutely did Chloe Rowley in that backfield, didn't she there? It's before that. Look, great footwork off that left foot. Chloe Rowley's coming across, and it's a great finish. And, you know, the story that Claudia McDonald's had, to see her do this again in an England shirt is brilliant to see.
Yeah, serious neck injury last year and thought she wasn't going to get back. And she said it's amazing how your body is so resilient.
Thank you, Mate.
Aitchison is 4 from 4. And yes, that story of Claudia McDonald, 2 serious neck injuries in her career, has come back from both and is doing things like this.
Just the balance, isn't it? The ability to be able to travelling that quickly, something I definitely couldn't have done. And then to be able to step off left, right foot, just to beat people for front. It's great to watch.
Now, I feel it was
Yeah, great
backwards.
vision.
Yeah. We check it. We check it.
She's played at Darlington Modern Park. She's been at Wasps, now settled down in Exeter. Here she comes again. Ward. Big blow of the whistle there, and Evie Gallagher over the top again. I mean, that's an Evie Gallagher special.
Yeah, tops the charts for the Guinness Women's Six Nations for steals. She had 6 coming into this game. It's what she does best. She's played 63 minutes last time and still topping the charts. Amazing stats last week, and great to see her combining well with Conkle. Look at this low body position.
And that's what I love about it, you know, good low base. She's so quick, so she's in there early. And then none of them England girls can win the height. As soon as they get there, they can't get underneath it. Because she's so strong, she's so difficult to move. And for Scotland, that is going to be huge for them today, to relieve pressure and to provide opportunity.
Skeldon long to the back, that's worked well. This is the best opportunity Scotland have had. Here goes Lisa Thompson, drives forward, 3 metres to go. Still Scottish ball. Gallagher, 3 turnovers to her name. What can she do in attack? Mattinson back inside, but a steal again. McDonald, right place, right time. Aldcroft gets it back inside. Clifford. They're pushing towards the far side wing. Dow. Meg Jones really alive to that threat, helping out her buddy. Byrne. Well, Becky Boyd just got introduced to Sarah Byrne. She's a tricky one to stop, as is Clifford. Aitchison. Kildunn. Feyanati. Popped off to McDonald, who has been lively.
White, blue!
Saracens, Galligan.
No, no.
Warning there for Lisa Thompson.
No.
Warning again. Scotland have to be careful. It's slow ball for England. How does Sarah Byrne do it? Aitchison, she's seen enough. She pokes the ball through and just gets a little bit of territory. Doesn't want to play for too long.
And this, for me, is the difference between how good the two English 10s are at the moment, Harrison and Aitchison. That is great game management. Yes, you're going forward, you're throwing a couple of shots, but look, nothing's come of it. So they say, look, we're going to put you back in your 22. We're going to pressure your line out. This carry from Sarah Byrne, she uses Kate Mattison like a speed bump, isn't she? Like, it is so hard to tackle her because she is such a physical, powerful lady. And then this kick is lovely, it's perfectly weighted through the gap, right foot. Holly Aitchison knows she doesn't need to drop because she's really comfortable. Really smart game management by England.
Ball is in, not clean. Skeldon has it.
No hands!
Bit of a caterpillar off
Use
of there.
it!
As the back of the ruck is extended by Bonner,
Let's
then
go.
Conkle. Mattinson. Dow wants the option to take it quickly. Decides against it.
Yeah, it's interesting, Katie, against Ireland last week. England, you know, the first half, it was 7-5, but here they just seemed a bit more their game management, their choices, the decision-making, really on it, and the kicks as well to the corners.
Yeah, they just look very comfortable, don't they? They found their shape, it's working for them. Good mix of the game. It's really difficult for Scotland to try and get her foothold.
They have had some opportunities. It's just not privily making that last pass just so obvious.
One side entry.
Penalty advantage for England.
Tackle move.
Helen Nelson told to get out of the way. We're still playing advantage here to England. Dow. Oh, McDonald again. She's been all the time in the right place. Has to jump her way out of trouble there, but runs out of turf. And you have to say, the pitch here at Welford Road, it is a tight pitch. There isn't as much space as you would have at other grounds.
No, it is. This is lovely play again. I don't think it was where Holly Aitchison was coming back on that loop, but it's Abby Dow. It's great link. But for me, the defensive work rate for Emma Orr here, it's a great bit of D. She made one on the other side, just a couple of phases though again, and she is keeping Scotland in this game by some of these defensive efforts.
She's
great tap tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. She's really at it today. A few missed last week, but absolutely, her and Fran McGee really working hard.
Oh, didn't connect there. Galligan said, thank you, I'll take this. Spun out, still keeping it tight in the forwards. Atkin Davis.
Tackle!
Clark slowed that one down. Byrne this time. 2 tries last week. Referee's happy for that to still be played. Scotland warned. Back it comes. Ward. Try! Well, it's all about the mums. We've had a try for Marley Packer, now for Abby Ward. Try number 5. As the England coaches have a little bit of a conflab, maybe about how many, because England, they're keeping up with the clock at the moment.
Go on, the mums. Look, it's again Scotland error, isn't it? A line out doesn't go to hand, and then we know England are so dangerous here. You know, recycle the ball. She has been great, Abby Ward. I think she's been phenomenal throughout the tournament. She's played a lot of minutes for England, and you're going to need 2 people to stop her from there. She's so physical.
Yeah, and Scotland getting caught narrow there, didn't get the line out of position, and England able to take advantage of it.
There is Abby Ward. As Holly Aitchison adds the extras, this was her dropping it over the line. We heard the news this week that Abby Ward is going to be reading the CBeebies bedtime story in the build-up to the Women's World Cup later this year. If you are not familiar, it is quite an institution if you have small children, and quite the honour too. Just another thing to add to her incredible CV of things she has achieved.
Shout out to Holly Aitchison as well. Great conversions.
What a take by Aldcroft. That is not easy. Ward, Byrne. Aitchison. She was really pressured and harried there. Managed to dodge out of that first tackle.
Yeah.
Harlequin's Packer. Bit of a nuisance coming in by her Quins teammate Conkle there. England still have it. Confusion in the midfield. Referee wants play to continue.
Go blue first. Number 4.
Well, that's a warning there against Becky Boyd. The Loughborough Lightning, second row. Only her third cap today.
Yeah, top ball carrier last week, more in the defensive duties here, and a real learning curve for her. I mean, exceptional that she did that. Third cap today, and what an experience playing at Matley Woods at Welford Road.
Holly Aitchison, 39th cap for the 27-year-old today. Haven't seen her play 10 yet in this campaign. Was the go-to fly half last year. Using her opportunity in that shirt. There's the loop. Aitchison with the long pass out wide to McDonald. Rolly was alive to it, but then McDonald gets away. Back inside to Kildunn, who is well marked by Thompson. Aitchison again with that flat pass. She's so famous for it. And here's Byrne. Jones, Ward, Aitchison, big spin out wide. Here comes Abby Dow. Oh, she almost threw the ball over the line. That one's not going to be given. But you can see the commitment and the intent.
Absolutely fantastic there by England. And great defensive harrying as well by Scotland, but Abby Dow, such a threat. Just running round and just that tap tackle, just in that corner there. Again, Fran McGee on those defensive duties, putting everything on her home pitch. She knows this pitch so well, just doing enough just to deny Abby Dow.
Okay, Scotland need to get rid of this ball. England have knocked that on, so Scotland have got a scrum.
Yeah, just looking for that accuracy in that corner.
I mean, look at those metres made, Heather, by England. 570 metres to Scotland's 128. I mean, just across the board, it's some stunning numbers.
Absolutely. Abby Ward talked earlier in the week about team cohesion, and it does seem to be clicking a bit more for them today. Scotland are harrying out in those wide channels, but England are just working together. Byrne making the metres in the right up the middle and out wide as well. Claudia McDonald, stunning play.
John Mitchell on the right-hand side of your screen talking to Lewis Deacon on the left. You can just see poking in there also is the attack coach, Lou Meadows.
Bind! Set!
That's a big shove. Evie Gallagher has it as she tries to fly away the Bristol back rower. Shows real strength. Bonner. Taken by Conkle. Mattinson again. Oh, big pressure kick away eventually comes. And somehow that's been kept in by Ellie Kildunn. She needs one of her mates to get onside. They do.
Tackle now!
Abby Dow, another trail finders player, powering on. That's good counter-rucking by Scotland, but eventually they're off their feet, and the penalty goes England's way.
Number 9, off it.
They're scooting Scotland, looking to relieve that pressure, and Ellie Kildunn just managing to keep it in. Great footwork.
Well, that was the footwork from Ellie Kildunn that just kept that ball in. Not an easy skill to do under that pressure.
And pick up, actually, the low pick up. Huge range of skills.
Last play then of the first half. England know where the try line is. They've already managed to find it 5 times. Can they do it for a 6th in the first half?
Six.
Tough day at the office so far for Scotland. Can they stop this?
That's was.
Packer spins it out wide. Aitchison is there into heavy traffic. Packer finds her skipper in Aldcroft. She goes down, 5 metres to go. Spun out to Jones. She's on home turf, the Leicester woman. Now it's Abby Ward. She's got one, thinking about a second. It's slow ball, but it's still coming for England. Aldcroft there. They've been held up a few times. They don't want that to happen again. Packer.
Shot!
Round the corner it goes. That's try number 6. It's Atkin Davis, and England are keeping up with the clock with a conversion to come.
We just talked about that cohesion and that patience and the heavy carries. Forwards just willing to take patience and take those hard carries. Lucy Packer, I think, at scrum half is organising this superbly well. Just a pass out there, again putting the Scottish defence under pressure, and Lucy Packer taking her time. Packer with the carry there. And a superb finish by Atkin Davis. Gallagher and Conkle working so hard in defence.
Mark Atkin Davis, 25 tries now for England. As Holly Aitchison, who has not missed one so far. She's 5 from 5. 10 seconds left to go. No problem at all. What a half from England. That was something quite special. So much talk in the build-up to this about how they've been letting other sides concede in front of them, but 6 tries. You've had Clifford, Packer, Aldcroft, McDonald, Ward and Atkin Davis all going over the line. Scotland had a couple of sniffs, but no real threats yet to this juggernaut. It's England that lead 42-0 at the break.
First half performance from England. Scotland really couldn't stop them, and the stats proving that as well, because that 523 metres made by England to Scotland's 128 says a lot, doesn't it? Interestingly, Scotland have got 5 turnovers into England's 3, but handling errors 10 to England's 5, and possession, of course, England have had the ball for the lion's share, 65% to Scotland's 35%. That, Katie Daly-McLean, was pretty impressive.
They were so good, Gabby. To be honest, it's the best half I've seen for England in a long time. Do you know what? And things I really liked. I thought they're very creative. They took nice options. They jumped short side with Lucy Packer, Ellie Kildunn. Holly Aitchison, I thought, was very good. She's kicked the corners. She's allowed the team to play. It was a very, very dominant England first half.
Interestingly, in sports, so often in team sports, we talk about momentum, don't we? And a team that has momentum, and if you make changes, it disrupts. And this team can make changes and carry on. And in fact, if anything, the 9 changes today, it was seamless in terms of the momentum of that half.
Yeah, we talked about, rotating the squad and trusting your players, and that's what John Mitchell's done, and that's what he's got. And I agree with Katie. I thought they were absolutely outstanding there, England. Just great fluency.
I think it's hard as well when Scotland are looking at analysis and they're looking at ways they can get into England. They're looking at different teams every week, so it's hard to maybe pin down exactly what they can do to get in. But
they have made those turnovers, though, haven't they?
They have, and we spoke about Evie Gallagher at the beginning. She's got, I think, 3 turnovers already, and you have got people at the breakdown trying to make a mess of it. But I think at the moment it's not the whole team, so we need the whole team effort, and there may be 80-90%, but we need to up that energy.
We talked about pre-match how other teams had got in there early the last couple of times with England. That wasn't going to happen today. It was a quick start.
No, it wasn't. England came out of the blocks. Just the restart. You could see the intent straight away. They went to 10 metres to try and win the ball back. And even though they didn't get the ball, they set the trend there. And then this is exactly what John Mitchell talked about England playing on top. So they're right in the face of the Scottish defence, and they're just steamrolling back. And it's exactly the same model they've used for a couple of their tries. And it's just so difficult to stop.
It's so difficult when player after player get over the gain line, and that's what happens with England. It's not just one or two; it's everybody who carries. And if you're Scotland, you just get shorter and shorter. You run out of bodies.
Yeah, but 21 minutes, 21-0, and that's you can't start any better than that.
Yeah, it really was building into that kind of point per minute type performance, which we've seen from England so many times in the past. In fact, right here in Leicester, they do like this stadium, don't they? Marley Packer back, important, and delivering for England what she does best.
Yeah, she's really making a statement show today, isn't she? She's really dominant in her carries, and she really wants to get over that try line. She's so physical, such a physical, dominant player. And you can see her pick and her carries after this breakdown here. She picks up, and there's only one way she's going there, and that's straight to try line.
It's really smart as well, because she's ID'd Helen Nelson. She knows that's a fly half. She knows potentially Helen's not going to be comfortable dropping underneath it, and it's a really good finish. It's nothing worse as a fly half seeing a back row coming at you with a meter's space.
Yeah, I have to say as well, though, look, some of those tackles from Scotland, they weren't dominant, so actually they're on the back foot, so Scotland are already hustling to get around the corner to then try and make the tackle on Marley.
And we saw what Scotland were trying to do, and they're building to their wings, because on the edges they can be very effective, but unfortunately for them, while it was effective a couple of times in terms of metres made, England spotted it, didn't they? And they took advantage.
Absolutely. The ambition's there from Scotland. You can see Chloe on the edge there. She identifies the space. Great carry, great metres made, and she's got a great step on her, so that's not a bad option for Scotland to take. And again, they're trying to get to those edges where England are shortening up in the defence, and the ambition was to kick through for Fran to gather there. The kick wasn't executed quite as well as it should be. And this one here, just an error. Nelly will be really disappointed with that one.
I think this is where England have done their homework. They know Fran McGee is so dangerous. She's beaten the most defenders. Zoe Alcroft had been doing it all day, just gets high. She gets in the passing lane, and Helen Nelson just hasn't scanned. She hasn't had a look. Ball's left her hands, and as a fly half, it's a killer, isn't it? Because you want to claw it back, but ball's gone. We
talk about England's attack all the time, but their defence is absolutely outstanding. I'm absolutely loving the way they're defending. They're so aggressive. I mean, they're aggressive in everything they do, but they're getting up on the edges. The pressure they're putting on Scotland, as they have done all the teams in Six Nations.
And you flagged Claudia MacDonald pre-match in terms of those areas that there is a lot of competition. Has she put her hand up for France today?
Yeah, she certainly has. Yeah, she's just got such an array of talent, and she's brave, is Claudia, and she's tough. So yeah, this is a great bit of skill, great catch, and then she's into her stride. She's got great footwork. And it's a fantastic scramble by Scotland, and then again looking for work. As to be fair, all the England wingers do. Their back three work so hard and they're so well connected. But this is what Claudia's got. She's got this footwork, and she's just a fantastic player.
It's great to watch though, isn't it? Because it's effortless.
You can't defend that, can you?
No, and you also get sold with it. You go with Chloe Rowley like she's going to come inside, and she just glides out.
And it's so good to see her back from those neck injuries and just looking like she's loving the game again. And relentless though, England, and those tries coming towards the end of the half there. First of all, Abby Ward.
Yeah, again, Abby's been great. We were just saying, Abby's been great all tournament. And it's just England's power game again. But she's really smart, is Abby, as well. She picks a moment. She knows when to get on the ball. Just real strength and determination.
It's a bit of patience as well, isn't it? Because you don't want to die with the ball. You want your momentum to come with you. She lets the tackle complete, and then she's just so strong. And she's also very long and tall.
Yeah, I think from Scotland's perspective, though, that far off your try line, that close, you have to be more dominant there.
100%.
They're letting her over. They have to push her back in that instance.
Yeah, at this point, Scotland obviously towards the end of the half there, it was damage limitation, wasn't it? Because they're going to have to regroup and work out a way that they can stop England in the second half, because they have this enormous momentum. They're experiencing kind of the flow, as we say in sport, aren't they? And everything's going right.
Yeah, and they're just being so patient and so clinical. One of the things we targeted at England about the wasted a lot of chances in previous games, and they've been a little bit loose in a couple of things. Ellen's been a little bit loose in one or two things, but you get get that with Ellie, but every time they get 5 minutes from the line.
The other thing that's going to be really interesting for Scotland is how you stop England, because for me, they've had a lot of options. Yes, the power game, they've gone out wide, they've tried the crossfield kick. What problem do you stop first? And that'll be interesting from the team talk for Brian Easton. What do you want Scotland to do to try and kind of like support this dam a little bit?
Yeah, I think as well, Simon, we were speaking, weren't we, about getting the ball quicker out of the breakdown so that they're able to play and they've got a bit more time and a bit more space to get it out to the edges.
Yeah. And the flip side of that is they've got to be in there when they're defending at the breakdown. It's a great point.
You might have noticed that we've suddenly started broadcasting in a discotheque. And that is because the crowd are being treated to some bangers from Ange Kay. Ange, of course, has appeared on BBC One Extra and the BBC Asian Network and is described as a future powerhouse in R&B and garage music, which Simon is an enormous fan of. So while he takes all of this in, let's head over to Sonia, who's got company.
I have, and two people who know each other exceptionally well because they are long-time teammates at Loughborough Lightning in the Women's Premiership, Sadia Kabea, and the Scotland captain, Rachel Malcolm, is not playing today. Given you two know each other so well, what's it like during the Women's Six Nations? Do you chat to each other or do you go all a bit kind of, grey stone face, not talking to you?
No, we do talk to each other. I think it's part of the fun of it. I think having friends on other teams, it makes it that little bit more exciting, and there's always a little bit of chit-chat on the pitch.
A little bit chit-chat and a bumper rock, pulling someone's trousers or something, a little bit here and there, yeah. So.
You would never do that, Sadia Kabea, would you? Now, look, you're not playing today, but I think more of a coaching role for you today, Rachel. What's it like? What can you say to a team when you've gone 42-0 down to England?
It's getting the basics right. At the minute, we've not really got a foothold in the game because we're not getting our basics right. There's a lot of things we can control. Those are the bits we need to focus on for the next 40 minutes. We can't control everything that England are going to throw at us, but we can control a lot of things which we probably haven't got right this first half, so those are definitely the ones to focus on going forward.
Yeah. Now, Sadia, you've worn that 7 jersey in the last couple of games. Old Marley Packer comes back in, scores immediately, of course she does. What is the competition for places like within this England squad right now?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we have real strength and depth throughout the whole squad, especially in those forwards, but I think having that competition just drives you. Like me and Marley, we have this really good relationship and it makes you better on the pitch and off the pitch. So, yeah, I think it's good to have the strength and depth because, as you can see, we can roll out different teams, but, yeah, it just drives that standard.
England have been a bit clunky at times during this Six Nations, and they put out a team that probably hasn't really played together in terms of combinations too much, and then scores 6 tries. Where's that come from today, do you think?
I think it's our real intent to attack and to go forward, getting in that momentum in the midfield of big carries from Sarah Burns, Zoe Allcroft, and then getting out wide. We see Claudia McDonald having a really good game on the wing today, so yeah, just that being able to go through the middle and then go wide at the same time.
Now, you've got 3 young girls on the bench today who could make their debuts. What a baptism of fire against England away. In the role you're playing today, what might you be able to say to them?
I think it's about just going on and owning what they do well. Like, the biggest thing I said to the girls going out today was just be brave, but don't be silly. Like, just focus on being what you do day in, day out in training and go and do it when it counts, and that's on the pitch for Scotland today. And I think, the likes of Rachel Phillips, she's been in and around the squad for a long time now. Same with Rhea Clark, Gemma Bell's a little bit more fresh in, and I think they've been chomping at the bit to get this opportunity, and someone like Rachel Phillips, I really hope she does get it today because this is the exact kind of game that will suit her playing style. She's super abrasive, so I'm sure they'll take their opportunity.
And obviously you're out today you've had concussion. You're going to be playing against Ireland next week, do you think?
Still a few hoops to jump through to get there, but being very well looked after by the medics here, so fingers crossed.
And it looks like you've got voices in your head like I have as well.
Too many.
Too many. Thank you both, Rachel Malcolm, Sadia Kabea. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. 1 game completed already today in round 4, and it was in Parma. Italy up against France, and they pushed them all the way, but Marine Ménager getting the try on around 77 minutes, converted on 78, and that was the first time there was clear blue water between the two sides. 1 more try from France made it 5 on the day, and a scoreline of 34-21 to them, which sets up next weekend at Twickenham nicely, doesn't it, as a denouement for this tournament. But some more sport to tell you about on the BBC. The GB Swimming Championships begin later this evening at the London Aquatic Centre. Our coverage begins on iPlayer from 6:45. Tomorrow, Wales and Ireland wrap up round 4 of the Guinness Women's Six Nations. That game takes place in Newport, live on BBC iPlayer from 2:45. Next Saturday, we're going to be at Twickenham as England host France. We'll be on air from 4:15 on BBC Two. And for all you rugby fans, there are updates throughout the week. You can subscribe to the Rugby Union Weekly podcast via BBC Sounds. Well, Simon's just had a boogie. He's ready to chat about the second half now. We always look to the benches in these encounters, don't we, to see if they can make a difference. And I think we've got to be pragmatic here, or we've got to be realistic and say, this game is won for England. They are not going to suddenly capitulate to Scotland. So I guess it's what can John Mitchell get from the benches, and what, I guess, are the benches meaning for England at the moment? Because there are certain players, aren't there, who will probably know they might not be in his starting lineup for a World Cup, but they could be very important off the bench.
Yeah, very much so, and it'll be interesting because I think he'll probably want to leave, for instance, Jade Sheckles on the field, get her maximum time, and there'll be a couple of players, probably Claudia will stay on all the way through. So the players who he wants to look at will probably go the distance, and then he'll roll the others.
And I think what's interesting, so we saw Sarah Byrne last week, didn't we? She came on, she dominated. She sets the expectation for a bench. So you're right, we've got to be pragmatic. But what you want to see from England, you want to see that race, you want to see that intensity, you want to see that kick on. And I think the bench have got a bit more pressure on them because of how good the bench were last weekend for England.
And Scotland, of course, as well. They will want to take something from this second half. What can they do, Deborah, that they can come away from here and say they've learned something from this performance?
Well, as Rachel Malcolm said, it's getting those basics right and keep that ambition to play wide and to still attack and to play the game, not to get caught up in England's game and always on the defence. So have the ambition, be clinical and execute.
Well, they are dominant. It was a pulsating first half.
Still more England shirts offering and scoring. They get the opening try. Round the corner they go once again. It's another try. And it's a 50th try for England's Marley Packer. Oh, and a steal by Allcroft, the England skip. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. And Zoe Allcroft knew where that ball was going. That's try number 6. What a half.
OK, let's get on with the second half between England and Scotland. Heather Lockhart, Katie Daly-McLean and Sarah Orchard, over to you.
Well, it's glorious sunshine for this second half. We started off with drizzly rain, but Lisa Thompson of Scotland ready to go again. So both sides unchanged so far for this second 40, but what kind of impact could the two benches make? Just the 3 World Cup winners waiting on that bench for England if required. 3 debutants for Scotland. Well, that's off a foot, but Scotland have got that through Gallagher.
Tackle now!
Early chance then for Scotland, but what a counter-ruck from England. Really well worked. Packer picks up the ball, spins it out then to Aitchison. Now Dow, hang it out on the right wing. Well, the lineswoman's flag didn't go up as Aldcroft fires forward.
Leave it, please.
Eliane Clark there, the Bristol prop, desperately trying to hold on to the England skip. That ball is stuck under there somewhere. Packer, Aitchison, driving run by Feyanati. Exeter number 8, given that 8 shirt again.
5 away. Use it!
Just a reminder that Scotland haven't beaten England now since 1999. We're not expecting that statistic to change today. But can they get on the scoreboard is a bigger question.
Use it!
Boyd there did well to hold on to that one. In the end, back to Thompson. She punts that one through. Kildun gathers, looks to use her right boot. And Thompson having to gather that ball. Sunshine straight in her eyes as she sends it towards the near side touch. Lisa Thompson playing now at Trail Finders. Got a yellow card last week against Italy, but so important to that Scottish back line.
Very much so, absolutely. Was doing the Olympics last year, so was trying to balance the 7s and the 15s. And I think for all players now, they can concentrate on the 15s and look at the product that's coming out in the class there. The counter-up by Rosie Gallican was outstanding. Scotland had some phases, but now back in. But yeah, Lisa Thompson, a key player for them and able to focus on the 15s.
A bit of treatment going there to Maddie Fernati. Going to get what everyone wants put up her nose there. She's saying that's far enough, thank you very much. And Katie, you've had that happen and you don't like that either.
They really hurt as well. Like the physio are literally like, right, needs to get right up there to stop it. And you're like, I think that's touching my brain now.
Well, Maddie Fernati is having some quiet words there with the physio team. But of course, she wants to stay on. So the treatment will continue. As Brian Eason there in the middle of your screen there, looking on. He, of course, took on this Scotland squad during the COVID period in 2020. He was given it on an interim basis, then took over full-time. You can also just hit the bottom of your screen there. Regular captain Rachel Malcolm in the coaching box.
Yeah, great to see her there. Just like very much part of the squad this week, recovering from concussion after last week's match, but back for next week.
Oh, well lost forward there. Scotland get it back. Here comes a mazy run this time by McGee. Nelson, who has been put on a lot of pressure to get those kicks with great take by Kildunn. She's been peppered, she's dealt with it all. Nelson, and she's right up there in Helen Nelson's face as well. That was Kildunn's 5th kick from hand, and England have got this ball. They're fighting for everything. Scotland aren't being given an inch.
Advantage!
Well, a couple of knock-ons there, so they'll come back and give Scotland the scrum. I don't know if Scotland would have rather that played a bit longer.
Yeah, Sarah Byrne there on the hard line, wasn't she? It's a great rip by Helen Nelson. Again, these moments here, Ellie Kildunn, great kick, great weight, and it's Abby Dow, just stays in the fight, doesn't she? She gets underneath Becky Boyd and just keeps going, makes a nuisance of herself, and that's what England have done so well. Like you say, they haven't given up on anything, no lost causes, always keep fighting.
No, it's absolutely, they want more, as we said at the beginning, World Cup on the horizon, and they want to perform so well today. That's one half, but they're going for the second half, and Scotland got to really front up. Eliane Clark really putting in the tackles today, 11 tackles, and Lana Skildon as well.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Just a reminder, when it comes to that World Cup, Scotland, they are in a pool with Canada, Fiji and Wales. First game against Wales. That could be absolutely enormous, as there's a nice bounce of the ball there by Mattinson to get that one out of play. McDonald looking for options. Look at that smile on her face. She is loving her rugby today.
Yeah, it's absolutely great to see, and superb option there by Scotland, putting them down the tram lines, finding touch, just taking the pressure away rather than finding Ellie Kildunn.
I think the thing that's interesting, though, is that Scotland keep giving England the ball. So your kicking game is really important, look, and you want territory. But at some point for Scotland, they're better with the ball than without it.
Well, Lucy Packer been thrown around a bit like a rag doll there. Did well to hold the ball.
Blue! Release! Back.
Packer gets the ball away to her namesake. Atkin Davis also involved there. Clifford. Galligan. Marley Packer.
Knock on the ball, Leon.
Got her 50th try in the first half.
Use
the
it!
2014 Rugby
Behind.
World Cup winner. Big charge down there.
Leon.
It's Gallagher again, who has been a real nuisance to England all day.
Unplayable. Unplayable.
And the frustration here for Scotland is when there are these breaks in play. That was the charge down by Gallagher. They keep getting scrums. I think they just like a few penalties occasionally.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of Evie Gallagher. She's on the horizon and she's just so strong. Not only at the turnovers there, but able to read the kick and really put pressure back on England.
But that's a better defensive set, you know. So they've talked at half-time about doing the simple things well, and that is a simple thing. Good defensive set. If you're going to put a kick in, you've got to go back it up with a good defensive set, and they did there, and they've got possession inside England's half.
You see as they're packing down there, it might be a Conkle who's got 8 on her back. It's Gallagher there, wearing 6 at the back. Crouch! She was actually injured when Scotland played at the World Cup back in 2022. It was their first World Cup in 12 years.
No.
How important could she be?
No, please. No, please. Yeah, wait for my call for mine.
Absolutely.
And
on both these sides. Both these sides, there's 8 players for England today that didn't play last time, and 10 for Scotland in this fixture. And it just shows how much it means to them. They want to perform that counter-up by Rosie Gallagher. They want to really improve every time that they take to the pitch.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Early push.
Free kick then. Scotland will take that. And Gallagher gets the ball off and away. Nelson. Rolly. McGee is waiting out wide. Oh, that's so frustrating for McGee. We've really built her up. Still only 21 years old.
Yeah, it was her debut. It was her debut in this fixture 2 years ago, and she really has grown, and she's moved to Leicester Tigers to play her rugby, and to really improve and kick on, and yeah, just not quite getting ball going to hand there.
Okay, thanks.
When it comes to Fran McGee's footwork, she actually spent some time with the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland as a dancer, so you can see how she can move around the pitch.
Crouch!
It's some transfer, but actually makes sense.
Bind! Set!
Well, this is an England put-in, and Scotland are holding for now. England will be told to use this. Better scrum from Scotland. Jones, well wrapped up there by Emma Orr. 13 on 13.
Just one hand, play on.
Packer looking for options. Eventually forwards arrive. 2 lots in the form of Ward and Gallagher.
Away.
Packer back to Aitchison.
Hold.
Well, Rolly has it. But a big push back from Claudia McDonald, who's scrapping away out there.
Back. Use it!
Still Scottish ball. There's no one to play scrum half. Gallagher offers services, and that's a knock on at just the wrong moment there for Lisa Thompson. Referee hasn't spotted it.
Use it. Take him back.
Back the ball goes.
Play on.
Bounce of the ball, and that's a big thumping kick that forces England to turn. Precious moments here for Scotland to get more metres. Don't give England the time. Dow, pass out wide. Sheckles waits. Here she comes. Nice pop off to Jones. Sheckles still there. They played together in that GB7 squad, trying to build up those combinations and relationships. Clifford. Aitchison. Ward, she rode that well. That's gone from coast to coast. Here comes Claudia McDonald, scorch marks in her wake. And England find the scoreboard in the second half.
It doesn't get any better than that. You talk about accuracy, you talk about all players being able to do the basics well, and that's what England did. We're not going to see it all, but the build-up, the speed of ball, the carry, the little tips, the touches. Ellie, 10-metre pass from Marley Packer on the edge, and Claudia McDonald, if anything, has the easiest part of it, but it's made by everybody else. Knowing to do your basics, making good decisions out the line. I mean, that ball is on the plate, isn't it? If your fly half gives you that, you're giving her a pat on the back, never mind your back row. And a brilliant piece of skill by that England team.
And they've gone coast to coast as well. They were way on the other touchline, and then they've stretched that Scottish defence right to the other side. Big smiles.
Holly Aitchison still immaculate with the boot. You might have heard some cheers go up there from the crowd. That's changes for England as they just replay this bust again from Jade Shekels.
And it starts with Jade Shekels, doesn't it? Her and Meg Jones link up so well again. Smart, don't let the ball die, keep the pace high. Again, we're going to see Claudia McDonald run it in, but it's the work in the middle, it's the speed of ball, it's the carry. It's just all the basics of rugby done at its very best.
I particularly enjoyed Holly Aitchison's pass. Such a beautiful pass.
Well, there you go. Fresh front row for England. May Campbell, Hannah Bottoman, Maud Muir, all onto the field. Worrying fresh legs. Well, bouncing ball. Abby Dow. Oh, they couldn't get that last connection. But England are smiling. And this will be such a concern now for Scotland, who have just got to keep up the pace now.
Yeah, I think that the 10 minutes prior to that, just before that try, was a lot better by Scotland with some real dogged defence. But England, yeah, that last pass.
And this is great for me, you know, this is the confidence this back three have. Ellie Kildun is in Abby Dow's ear, she's telling her where she's going. If Abby Dow backs that and just lifts it early, Ellie Kildun's there. But it's great back three interplay.
Big steal in the air for England.
No.
Bottoman, first touch of the ball. Comes from a good family of sports, men and women, Hannah Bottoman. Shekels. They've passed 100 carries in the match now, England, and they're not stopping. McDonald would be on for a hat-trick if she goes on again. Marley Packer. Rolling along the floor, penalty is Scotland's.
Extra roll. Extra roll.
Yeah, England really just got that momentum. All started from that turnover at the line out. Scotland just not quite going to hand, and just Ellie Kildun just exposing her huge range of skills, putting that Scottish defence under pressure. And Claudia McDonald, just that left foot there.
Just didn't sit, did it? It's the one where you're just waiting for that ball to bounce, didn't sit in the hand. But again, just lovely variation in England's option taking.
Subs.
Okay,
1, 2 and
more
11.
changes here.
1, 2 and 11.
Okay, couple then in the front row. Ellis Martin comes on, Adesley Bartlett. Also Lucia Scott. So none of the debutantes on for Scotland just yet.
Lucia Scott is her, though it's not her first cap, it's her fourth cap, it's her first Six Nations.
Big shift there by Lana Skeldon as she makes her way off.
And Anne Young.
Martin then, first throw of the ball, England steal it. That's the third line out that Scotland have lost. But that's a big penalty one. And they need to start living off these moments.
And they are. You could hear the absolute cheer there from the Scottish pack there, just to take every moment. They didn't quite that ball get to hand for that try scoring opportunity for Fran McGee there, but again, just opportunity here just to put the ball in the corner by Helen Nelson.
Thank you.
There you go, Abby Ward there getting her mitts on that ball, sending it down the right side. But here we go. Ellis Martin, another opportunity. Got a try versus France in round 2. She used to play here at Leicester, now settled at Loughborough. Here she comes, still on the run. Martin going over the top, Mattinson available, Gallagher again. Support coming by McLaughlin. Bonner. This is a good set from Scotland. Can they make it count? Conkle.
No, wait!
Bottoman warned. Nelson, lovely flat pass there to Rolly, and that is a huge hit coming by Meg Jones and Abby Dow. And the counter ruck still going. What a strip by England. That was ruthless rucking.
Use it!
Aitchison calmly sends that away, and that is one of the best defensive sets you will ever see.
It's a great double tackle, isn't it? Abby Dow, Meg Jones low, hit the ball, and then it's this bit, isn't it? It's the second effort. Work rate by Meg Jones underneath It's Emma all then just causes chaos. And then once one goes, England's motto, everybody goes with him.
And conversely to that, that was a great attacking opportunity there for Scotland. Good line out, and it was a good attack. So they've got to work so hard. That's the third really big counter-ruck by England this half.
Only one tackle missed all game for England. Now, this is interesting. Zoe Allcroft, the regular captain, is off. They brought on Morwenna Talling. We're told that Marley Packer is captain right now. See who they shuffle into that back row as well. Zoe Allcroft, the only England player who's played away in every game. But here's Emma Raw. Needs to keep those toes inside. Does so well. Leah Bartlett there. Places it back. Martinson, Raleigh.
Advantage! I tackle!
There's a bit of a seatbelt on there coming in from McDonald. She's shaking her head, but quite clear for the referee to see.
Still advantage,
This time
Scotland.
running forward by
Still
Rona
advantage,
Lloyd. Still penalty advantage. Martinson, touch through by Nelson. Can they get someone on the end of it? No. They'll come back.
Advantage. I tackle. 13.
And yeah, just high tackle there, and again an opportunity for Scotland to regroup and just keep getting into the England 22, and this can keep ball in hand and provide numbers at the breakdown. That counter ruck is England's weapon at the moment. They've got to service that breakdown.
Well, you can see that from Claudia McDonald. Although she released quickly, you've got to make sure you get lower. Loughborough's lifts Martin then. Ball in from Scotland. 7 metres to go to get to the England line. Has it ever been closer for them as they drive on? The ball is there at the back. More weight is offered. Thompson goes in. Lloyd goes in as well. Can they get on the scoreboard? Scotland, are they over? Is it grounded? Is it down? Scotland say yes.
Second.
Is the referee going to check?
Okay.
Yes, she will.
TMO. Mateo, can you hear me? I have a clear grounding by Scotland. Please have a look if there is any knock-on before the ball is grounded. The finish is right. Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, so Clara Minorini did say there that her on-field decision is try. So they'll need something clear to say that this isn't a try for it not to be given.
Thank you.
They're just trying to get the pictures at the moment to show her. Now, I don't know if anyone's eyesight is better than mine. I'm not sure this is going to be the angle that tells us much. I don't have X-ray vision. Katie Daly-McLean, do you?
I think for me this is a try, ball's grounded. I think it's just what happens before that.
Well, I don't think anyone knows
This
where
is the
that...
angle.
There we go. This is a better angle. So there is the ball. May Campbell there is then covering it up. But as I said, the important bit here is that the referee said she thinks it is a try.
Okay, so I have a decision. Not clear evidence. Stick on field decision. Try is good.
Scotland will be given their try. They are on the scoreboard. They will not be nilled. It was worth it for that moment. Lisa Thompson being credited with that touchdown. And you have to say, that maul was well worked.
absolutely superb. Ellis Martin doing the process as well. Fraser Brown will be immensely pleased with that, going through the processes at the line out, and keeping that territory and making that finish. And I think it was grounded, so absolutely excellent. The first time Scotland have scored against England in 2 years. Chloe Rowley scored 2 years ago and the year before that.
Helen Nelson with the extras. Now up to 208 points in her Scotland account. And let's hope that Scotland can just feed off this now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting the processes right, getting the territory right, stopping that counter-up by England and being dogged in defence and keeping possession and attack.
They've made more changes, England. Jade Sheckles has gone and taken a seat, as has Maddie Fairnarty. You can also see out there on the field at the moment, Natasha Hunt on the field.
Hold!
Well, Kildunn does well there because she lets the ball go backwards. Aitchison, so calm. And she just puts the ball exactly where she wants it.
I agree, she looks very calm, composed, it looks very effortless today. Doesn't look like she's over-trying. Again, probably would want that to go a little bit longer, but it's just a good idea of space. Don't make it harder than it needs to be there. Head up, England gain 20, 25 metres, and they get to go and compete at the line out.
Second.
Conversely, Scotland are trying to kick over England, and I think that's what they need to do. They need to turn the English defence.
Martin gets it in. Gallagher takes. Conkle. Charge down ball. It was Helena Rowland who was on that one. She's onto the field as well. You can also see Alex Matthews out there.
9.
Harlequins Kildunn. Still running with the ball. Enjoying working with McDonald. Hunt, Bottoman. What kind of a difference all these fresh legs make, and they still get the bounce.
Tackle!
Gallagher down on the ground. Hunt again. Rowland is there. Jones. Hunt again. Ward. Little juggle of the ball. It goes forwards. And Scotland kept up with England there.
Absolutely, Gallagher's done so well in previous phases, but I could hear Ellis Martin at the ruck before that, just absolutely massive comms, G'ing up that defence, and that's the kind of attitude and mindset that you need in defence, and you can get those turnovers.
I've got a debut then for Rhea Clark.
Let's go.
She is the little sister of Eliane Clark, so two sisters playing now for Scotland. Rhea Clark, only 21 years old. She's been playing a little bit of Celtic Challenge for Edinburgh, also plays at Edinburgh University. Big moment for her, lining up opposite 2014 World Cup winner Natasha Hunt.
Yeah, the six sisters to represent Scotland. Big moment today for them both.
Set!
Well, they're going to reset this one.
Down. I come here. Okay, come here. Come here. Long bind.
I think they're waiting to make more changes at some point, England, when they can. And you can expect an absolutely enormous reception when Emily Scarratt comes onto the field. She hails from Leicester parts. She actually won her 100th cap here in their last game. She will be a firm crowd favourite when she takes to the field.
Bind. Set.
Clark with her first put in international rugby. But the England pack is just too much for the Scotland forwards.
Yeah, we were talking at half-time about the scrum, and very much the scrum is not just about the front row or the back, it's that the second row, and they're really putting in a shift there. We're talking about Rosie Gallican. It really makes a difference keeping that spine of the scrum strong.
Okay, more changes then for England. And here she is, Emily Scarratt onto the field. Emily Scarratt winning her 118th cap today. She's an 8-time Grand Slam winner. Not a bad sub to bring off the bench. Steal from Scotland. What a moment to do it. Gallagher comes again. McLachlan spun out to Emma Orr. She knows she can force England to turn. The foot chase is on. Is that a 50-22? Where did it start? Oh, they've decided it hasn't quite gone over the line, so it's going to be an England ball. Scotland thought they had it.
It certainly looked like it from where we are. Let's look again. Great hands there, yeah. Eliane Clark on the pitch with her sister.
Quick ball away then, Maud Muir. Muir is still only 23 years old, doing things on a rugby pitch that you really wouldn't expect from one so young. Oh, Lloyd. I think she thought she might have got away with one there. Just one juggle too many.
It's really tough, isn't it? Scotland thought they may have had a chance of a 50-22, and then the kick gets put back down. Just fine margins at this level.
Oh, Rona Lloyd playing her rugby now over in Bordeaux. The French league season hasn't actually finished yet, so the couple of Scotland players that actually play over there, they're going to have to go back and finish the club season before they get their break before the World Cup. Rachel McLachlan also playing over in Montpellier from the 23 we see today.
Crouch!
Well, Scotland's defence in this second half has certainly stepped up.
No, wait. On the left. No, head to head, please. No.
Yeah, McLachlan, 15 tackles, Bonner, 15.
It's okay. Thanks a lot.
I think it's the comms, though, the fact that we're hearing that defensive line, just really that energy from that defensive line makes such a difference. And there you see Emma Orr just talking to Lucia Scott. They were talking to each other in the warm-up. That's great comms again.
Natasha Hunt there just scanning the top of your screen, waiting to get that ball in. Started playing her rugby age 17. Three-time Premiership Women's Rugby champion.
Yeah, it's okay.
Co-captain at Gloucester Hartbury alongside the England skipper Zoe Allcroft.
Both down, please. Don't wait. Please, same time. Thanks.
She won't thank you for telling me she's the oldest player now in this England squad. 36 years old.
Don't anticipate, please, Michael.
It's interesting, May Campbell in the front row there was actually born just outside, she's from Dunblane, but schooling down south, so playing against Scotland, and I'm sure that's a big one for the family.
Line! Set!
Well, England get the penalty and they want to play.
Backwards.
It's loose, it's backwards, play on. Kildun. Then she straightens. She's lifted.
Eight, down!
Now they are just warned there. As much as they can hold her up, they can't hold her in the air. Well, that is held there. They've got to get her down to the ground. They did that.
Careful.
And they'll get the put in at the scrum.
That was a bit of fight there from Scotland, though. That's exactly just that bit of grit and just a bit of not letting them go.
3 and 4.
Ellie Cadun knew she was in that.
Subs. 3 and 4.
I think she's unlucky there, though, because her knees on the ground, pretty obvious. Should be a tackle, then Scotland have to release. But I agree, I think you've seen a bit more fight for Scotland. Momentum's kind of died a little bit. The speed that England started with just got a little bit slower, and I think it's given Scotland an opportunity for them to build into this game, especially after that try.
Yeah, so it's a try piece in this half.
Molly Pullman on in the front row for Scotland, and you made her debut in round 2, her 3rd cap today. Adele Ferry also slips in there into the second row. She made her debut in round 1.
Huge occasion for both of them.
Behind the ball line.
Gallagher on the run. The blue in her hair flowing out behind her. Nelson, big handoff. It's almost as if Scotland have found the intensity they needed in the first half in the second. They know the standard now.
No.
Thompson. Now, Kildun had that. Is the referee happy? It was backwards, no. Says it has gone forwards. And to be fair, Scotland have peppered Ellie Kildun with those, and that's the first one that's gone forward.
Yeah, it was just right at her feet, wasn't it? Just dying, just right at the feet.
It's really hard as well because you'll be really conscious of where that touchline is. So you can have a little bit of a scan, but you're where your feet's moving, and then she's just trying to tip it back inside. Not sure if she can catch it clean, so try to tip it forward, tip it back in, sorry, and just gone forward.
Well, England won the first half 42-0. In this second half, technically, it's 7-all. Scotland with the scrum. Brian Eason, whatever he said at half-time, it's working. Big dig away there for Clark. Finds Nelson, Thompson, or nearly manages to get away from the clutches there of Scarrett. Nelson again, down the line.
You step back, play on.
Clark. Bartlett is there. Leah Bartlett, another Leicester women.
Play on, good timing.
And Adele Ferry there.
Tackle move!
Given a bit of a hospital pass, had to just suck up the tackle. Thompson, she's seen enough. She knows they're going backwards, has to hack it on. Is that one going to go out? Yes, it does.
I think Scotland have managed this kind of last 10-15 minutes really well. I think they haven't overplayed, they've kicked well. England haven't been as smooth as we saw in the first half. And actually Scotland have just keep pressurising. The wind's changed a little bit as well, so it's a bit more in Scotland's favour. And it's definitely supporting that kicking game.
Yeah, in the corners, rather than directly to Ellie Kildun or over their heads.
England need to get the ball out of here. Plenty of them packed into Welford Road today. Confirmation, we've got 15,530. Big numbers turning out to watch the Red Roses. Of course, next week they're at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Who will be wearing the 10 shirt is the question. Will it be Holly Aitchison, who you can see on your screen now? Will it be Zoe Harrison? That will keep the headline writers very happy.
I tell you what, though, I think Holly Aitchison has put a really good showing to give herself this opportunity. I think Zoe Harrison has been in great form, but this has been a very strong performance intent by Holly Aitchison today.
Martin with the put in for Scotland. Is this their moment? Conkle. Oh, lovely push through it there by Conkle. Introducing herself to Saracens' May Campbell. Clark, Bartlett again. She's been busy since coming off the bench. Clark, Nelson, back inside. Not quite the communication there, but the fly half goes back, tidies up her own ball. Emma Orr with the pass out wide. Nelson is there. Footwork to go back in. Spun out ball. Again, Bartlett appears to be the go-to woman to get over the gain line for Scotland. Gallagher. This will be exhausting for Scotland. They need to find a better way to penetrate this white wall. Rolly.
No.
Well, Scotland, they're powering away at this left channel. Eventually they move it slightly towards the middle of the park through Ferry. Edinburgh woman down on the ground, popped off ball. Is McDonald alive to it? No, she is to the tackle, but it's knocked on in the process. And after all of that effort, all of that possession, that territory for Scotland, England are the ones who get the scrum, as we have another debut here for Scotland. On comes Gemma Bell in the back row now. She's played Scotland under-20s. She's really impressed in the Celtic Challenge. Big moment for her to show what she can do in the final stage of this fixture.
Yeah, the most valuable player in the under-20s Summer Series Six Nations last year, and a huge moment for Gemma Bell. Well played Sarah Bonner and Helen Nelson. Huge fight in that second half, but an amazing opportunity for Gemma Bell.
As Rachel Phillips also comes on the field. Katie, you know her at Sale as she makes her debut.
It's brilliant to see. You know, Rachel Phillips is a great human. She's been around the squad. She's been to WXV. She hasn't been capped. So for her to persevere, her hard work, and to be eventually rewarded is thoroughly well deserved.
Yeah, it's two players. Rhea Clark is doing really well at scrum half, just conducting that. I think Scotland just need to keep it tighter. The outside defence, England are reading that. That was the intercept try in the first half. So just keeping it tighter, keep the patience, and Rhea Clark's got that.
You might have heard us talk about the competition WXV a few times now. It's an international women's competition that's played in the autumn. Scotland were playing their games in South Africa last year, finished second to Australia. England won their competition in Canada. As the ball comes down the England line, we haven't seen an attack like this for a... What a hand-up by Abby Dow! That is something special! She's going to go the whole way! Unbelievable try by Abby Dow. World class. That's the only words for it. World class.
Look, this game has had absolutely everything for England. It's had pace, it's had power, it's had team triumphs. And the one thing was lacking for me was a bit of individual brilliance. Look, Claudia McDonald's been brilliant, but if you need somebody to finish, she is your girl. It's great build-up play, and then they give her the ball. She's got 50 metres. She hands off one. You think Rona Lloyd, two. Rachel Phillips, three. She is so, so strong. And it's just like you say, Sarah, she is world-class. There is not a better finisher in the women's game than this woman on your screen.
It's just the power through the tackles, isn't it? Just Rachel Phillips thought she had her, and it's the ability to get back up. It was a half tackle, and she got back up.
Oh, that's Holly Aitchison's first miss. That's going to be annoying on 74 minutes.
Nothing worse than when you've kicked so impeccably. Great ball from Ellie Kildunn, isn't it? She does all the hard work for her in terms of beating defenders, and then it's about pace and power. And like I say, ball in two hands, gets off that left foot, Rona Lloyd over chases. Rachel Phillips does a really good job, gets a half down, but like you say, she rides the tackle, she's back up, and she's over that try line.
Okay, they're back underway. Clock closing down. Regardless of what happens in these final passages, although England have had their moment there, this certainly has been a much improved Scotland in this second half. Thompson with the little step there, just try and get a bit of power in that crashing effort. McLachlan on her 50th cap. Big hits going in there, and Pullman, one of her first touches. She's actually a black belt in karate. Not sure how many of those moves she'll be able to use today.
With the foot, with the foot.
Oh, a bit of a juggle there, has gone forward. And England will like this scrum position, nearly slap bang in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Scotland going through the phases there, but they're slowing the ball right down, and they're right in the in Scotland's face in defence.
Well, both sides lining up on either side.
Let's go, please. Hit the mark.
Everyone just taking in a bit of air.
Rachel Phillips there in the half tackle, Bigger, and I think Emma Orr also originally from Bigger, and the pair of them are really just trying to front up, Emma Orr just trying to burst through those tackles.
Bind! Set! No. Too much pressure here, yeah. No,
Okay,
no,
they're going to reset this scrum. So why don't we use this opportunity, Katie Daly-McLean? Oh, sorry, Heather Lockhart, I should say. I think you're choosing today who is your Women's Six Nations Player of the Match.
Yeah, Katie's also gone down, but we've both chosen the Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match is Claudia McDonald. She's been absolutely outstanding. A try in each half, and she's played with a smile on her face, and I think she's epitomises England's attacking play today, but also defensive work as well. Thumbs up, fantastic play, and some huge candidates across the board today, especially from England, but much better second half from Scotland.
Quite the day to be an England wing. Hunt gets the ball away. Rowland, Kildunn. That last connection. A couple of times that's happened for England, just getting those final passes away.
Yeah. John Mitchell's talked about that, about just the back three just finding that final pass, and I think when that links up more, they'll become even more deadly.
15. 15.
Now they're just going to look at this.
15. 15. 15.
Okay, this is a yellow card for Chloe Rollie.
Clear overlap. Deliver no con. Thank you.
This was the moment for the Rollie yellow card. You can just see that she gets her fingertips on that, and she was never really catching the ball.
Yeah, because it was fingertips. I think they're saying it's deliberate knock-on, and therefore yellow card Sinden.
Well, sometimes we see referees do let players get away with that. Not on this occasion for Rollie. As England try and come away with the ball. Hunt looks up, Aitchison is there. Round the corner it comes, Kildunn straightens, last pass away to McDonald. Passed out to Dow, Dow on for a brace, goes over again. Finally, the last pass connects. Dow goes over. The crowd are loving this. There's enough time for the conversion as Aitchison steps up.
Yeah, Ellie Kildunn did so well there, and we're talking about the Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match, Claudia McDonald, giving that last pass. She's got superb hands, can play scrum half, and it makes all the difference for Abby Dow to finish in the corner and put that defence under real pressure. Second try.
Thank you, Martha.
Not to be on that occasion for Holly Aitchison, but still 6 from 8. And we are going to get a restart.
A smile there from Holly Aitchison. She knows she's been kicking well, she's felt it. But from a standing start, Abby Dow's unstoppable.
Thanks.
Okay, clock in the red. We have the restart from Thompson. Will England play? Will they get it off the field? There it goes. Well, it's a huge result for England. The scoreline ever impressive. Scotland played a much brighter second half, but the damage was all done in the first. That's where England scored 6 of their 9 tries. So much intrigue now comes towards their final fixture, where they will now head to the Allianz Stadium at Twickenham to decide the direction of the Women's Six Nations title with France. It will be a Grand Slam decider. Scotland, they've still got 1 game left to go against Ireland, who are yet to play this weekend. But a tricky time for them. full time then here at Welford Road. England 59, Scotland 7.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, celebrations from both sides.
Well done,
Smiles for Abby Dow, because she got her 50th cap just last week. Alex Matthews, who came onto the field in the closing passages of play. So many of these women know each other so well, Heather, because they play in Premiership Women's Rugby together.
Absolutely. The starting front rows, Lark Atkin-Davies, Sarah Byrne, Lana Skeldon, Eliane Clark, all Bristol Bears, and they really put each other to the test, especially in that second half. But I think England got the start they wanted, got that first half complete performance that they wanted, but Scotland really fronted up in that second half, and wishing each other well for the last round of matches. But fierce competition by England. They just set the standard. They're #1 in the world, and they want more.
Well, you can see the England players enjoying their moment. The job here in the Six Nations is not done, though. It's been a good shift, you have to say, but still plenty more left to come out of the tank when they take on France. Abby Dow, couple of tries there, so important in the final 10 minutes of the match after it had really all been about Scotland in that second 40. Emily Scarrett there as well. You see a few of the non-travelling reserves as well, offering their congratulations. But of course, the player of the match was Claudia McDonald. She got a couple of tries as well. The Exeter woman played with a smile on her face as we head down to pitch side, and Sonia McLaughlin, who's with her now.
Claudia, many, many congratulations. A brace of tries for your good self. Is that the best you think we've seen from England so far in this campaign?
I think the best is always yet to come. Yeah, I think we're proud of that performance. We'll watch it back, we'll have fix-ups, we'll be better next week. But yeah, I think it's starting to come together. I think there's so much talent on this team. I think we get judged harshly for how we play, but I think every time we come out, we put on such a good product that we're proud of.
Do you think you've given, or you hope you may have given John Mitchell some food for thought when it comes to those wing selections to face France next week?
Yeah, again, like it's just always about playing this game. You know, obviously being out of England for a little while, and I'm just loving every second of being back. Like I just said, we're just surrounded by so many talented, amazing, incredible rugby players. So it's a privilege to put the shirt on. And yeah, to be picked out today for player of the match, it makes me a bit emotional, to be honest, but maybe I'm just soppy.
Look, the Red Roses are, when they hit their straps, are fabulous to watch. Give us a sense, what's it like to play in this team right now? Do you think that the best is yet to come?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think when you look at the skill that we've got from 1 to probably player 40, like we've got 40 players in camp all the time, like training incredibly well. Like the competition is immense. I think you know, people say we need to be beaten. We get beaten in training all the time. Like we beat each other up in training, we push each other to be better, and we have so much respect for each other. So yeah, it's exciting to be out there with again, just like the talent that we've got is amazing.
Many, many congratulations. That medal suits you.
Thanks so much, really appreciate it.
Fabulous performance from Claudia McDonald. Fabulous performance from England today. So dominant. And there they sit, top of the table on 20 points with France on 19. And that head-to-head is next Saturday, live, 4:15 from Twickenham. Other results today, of course, from Parma. Italy beaten by France, 21 points to 34. But France were pushed all the way. It was 78 minutes before they managed to get some daylight between themselves and the Italians. And tomorrow, Wales play Ireland. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff on iPlayer. Wales rock bottom on 1 point. Scotland now on 4 points just above them. And Italy on 5, with Ireland there just ahead of them on the table, but also on 5 points before we head into that exciting final weekend of Women's Six Nations action. And that was in the second half. Not so much a continuation of the first, because actually Scotland, as well as getting their try, Deborah, they did cause England a few problems.
They did. I think they really stepped up as well. Their carries in the midfield were much more dominant. And I was saying to Katie as well that they were pushing up the middle to try then to go wide rather than to push wide too early, and I think that paid off for them in the second half.
And as a coach, you know, we're looking at your coach's eyes on that second half from a Scotland perspective. That's what you want to see, isn't it? You want to see a change. It wasn't working in the first half. England figured them out very quickly.
Yeah, one of the things that you wanted to know before the game was what does success look like for Scotland today? And that second half showed a lot of success for them. I think, you know, the way they managed the field was really well. They were a lot smart with the kicking game.
I think the kicking game was big. I think, like you say, they punched through a little bit, but just the way Lisa Thompson kicked, Helen Nelson kicked, they just started to move England back.
OK, before we take a look back at the tries and the action from that second half, let's hear from England's captain. Zoe Aldcroft is with Sonia.
Well, Zoe, many congratulations to you. Quite emphatic from England. How pleased with that performance?
Yeah, definitely. There were moments of world class in that performance, and like we're really excited about it. We still know we've got so much to work on as well, which is the exciting thing. So yeah, looking forward to going for one last week and hopefully putting a little bit more effort into some areas that we can improve on.
Because when people watch you after a performance, you know, during a performance like that, they say, really? You've got so much to work on? You know, just give us a sense of what areas you think you can yet be even better.
I think our maul can be a lot better, and then our breakdown as well. We just want to be ruthless in those kind of areas, and it's about tweaking those tight little bits and just being excellent in those areas.
Grand Slam decider, of course, to come, Zoe, next weekend. You know, what would you expect from France, from that game? Now it's been billed as the decider, we have got it.
We know France are super physical, so we're expecting that next week, and we know they love a little offloading game, so hopefully stopping them in those areas.
Good luck to you next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
OK, let's have a little look, shall we, at player of the match, Claudia MacDonald's afternoon, because you talked about this competition on the wings and players having to stand up and really show John Mitchell why they should be in this side. She did that today.
Yeah, she was absolutely brilliant today. She showed the full array. I mean, she's got such physicality. She's got great speed. She's got a great step, and she got it all out there today. And she showed some really good touches in defence.
Yeah, I think for me, she's just really balanced. And you know what it is? When you've come back from double neck surgery, which she's had, or double neck injury, it's about whether you're going to be brave and whether you can play in the same way. And for me, she doesn't look like she's been away. She looks fitter, she looks stronger, she looks really powerful. We know she's a balanced runner, but she's had, second half, some really nice touches off the ball as well. Here you see it's Abby Dow, gives her an opportunity. It's just smart. She's back in her pace. She's back in her footwork. She doesn't look at all nervous when she's playing for England at the moment.
Yeah, that was an excellent cover tackle by Emma. I've got to pick that up there. That was brilliant. And she's been dominant for England, for Scotland as well.
And let's have a little look at this example of coast-to-coast England that she got on the end of.
Yeah,
it starts so well, sorry, Simon. For me, Jade Sheckles makes us, we talked about the big ball carry. She carries so well, doesn't she?
Yeah. But the execution, when they move the ball from right to left here, the execution, the combination of the forwards, the backs in the line, and then the last pass, Marley, is an absolutely sublime pass. You know, and it's like a full array of skills that they've got.
They look so comfortable at the line, whether it's Marley Packer, whether it's Ellie Kildren. And I think Claudia MacDonald had the easy bit, didn't you? She had a run in because all the hard work had been done by, like you say, the likes of Marley Packer.
There she is, enjoying her time with the fans who really have enjoyed this England performance today, and as is the way, they come down and show the players just what they thought of that. And this crowd here, they love it, don't they, when England come to town? 15,500 of them here to see that performance. And then on the other wing, Abby Dow. I mean, it's so hard not to say Abby Dow, take a bow, because that was one of the most exceptional tries you'll see in the Six Nations. Casey.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a nice scrum play. England was so dominant in scrum, and then it's just a first phase starter. Everything done well. They get Scotland to condense. Ellie Kildun provides a link here, but it's the strength of Abby Dow. She fends off Rhoda Lloyd. She fends off Rachel Phillips. Looks like she's got a half tackle and she's back on her feet. She makes her look effortless. And I've never seen Sarah Orchard so animated in comms as when Abby Dow went in the corner.
Maybe the second not quite as exciting, but still for her to get a brace today important.
I think that's Claudia who gives the ball. So you've got one winger linking with the other winger, and this is what England do unbelievably. Their back three connect up. They're all over the field.
Marley Packer has arrived. Hello. With a famous mascot. He's had more television coverage today than you.
Of course he has.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On the performance, the win, the try. Talk to us about what it was like being back out there today.
Yeah, just awesome. Like, you can never take for granted playing in this Red Roses shirt. The calibre of players we've got coming through, full credit to where the PWR is, but the Red Roses at the moment, like, you've got players not just on the bench, but also that are training week in and week out with us, not getting the opportunity to play. It just shows the depth of the squad at the moment.
Pre-match, John Mitchell in his interview said, credit to you, because to lose the captaincy and not be starting every week, you know, you've got to keep on fighting all the time. I think anybody who knows you knows fight is probably your middle name. And so we were wondering what kind of Marley Packer would come out today. Was there extra special kind of determination and energy inside you?
No, I don't think so. Look, you've got to enjoy the moment. Like, if you try and overplay things, overdo things, that's when mistakes come in, and like, you're over trying. Like, for me, it's just going out there, enjoying it. You never know when your last game is, so play every game like it's your last game. And you know, to get a try today was awesome, but it's about the squad performance. Like, obviously, we didn't really run too much in the week with Zoe coming off, so that captaincy got, like, passed back over to me. And, you know, that's a moment when you just smile inside. Like, Mozo came on the pitch and she was like, Marley, and pointed at me and she was like, see. And
how
was
nice
like,
was that for you today, to get that back, to have, like you say, you never know when your game's going to be your last, but to have the opportunity to captain England, for this young man to be here as well?
Yeah, it means everything to me. And, like, Abby Ward did a piece in the week and she spoke so highly about me, and, like, you know, every player in this squad are natural leaders in everything we do, and we want the best for the Red Roses and we're striving to be the best all the time. So for me, it's just like, I speak when I know I need to speak, but otherwise, like it's okay. I'm enjoying where I am within the squad.
Knowing you like I know you.
Yeah.
Hey, did you have a conversation with John Mitchell? No. What's the week been like for you?
This week, to be fair, we had quite a low-key week this week. We only had one high-intense training session.
What about you? What about you personally? You know, because it's been a tough couple of weeks not playing. I know you like when you don't play. I know what a fantastic team player you are and how you will have copped it.
Yeah.
But I know what...
I think the really good thing with Mitch is that he gave us the first 2 games, what selection was. Then he gave us the second 2 games. So I knew I wasn't in those 2 middle games.
Okay.
But because I knew I was going to be involved in this game, there was no, like, oh, am I going to get an opportunity, not get an opportunity? It was about, look, getting the squad in the best possible place to play against Wales, to play against Ireland, and then when it's my turn, I know the squad will get me in the best possible place for that. And, you know, I got a text message from Mo this morning. I was laid on my bed and she was like, come to my room, and I was like, oh, okay. And I said, everything okay? And then, like, I got there and her and Skaz had got me a little tomato of positivity. It was just a little teddy, but it was so cute. But, like, it's just like, you've got players that really look out for you and really care, and that's what, you know, it's all about.
Well, mate, but that's what you've always done for everybody, so it's only right.
Well, sometimes.
Okay, don't be like that. We used to be roomies.
Finally, how happy are you with your personal performance today?
I haven't watched it back yet, but yeah, no, obviously I'm happy. I'm frustrated with the penalty down there. Like, naturally you always are, but, you know, we've worked really hard to be giving these wingers balls as forwards out on the edge. And, you know, the first touch I got, I passed to Claudia and I was like, oh, was it forward, was it not? And then to get the one on the edge over here, like, it's stuff we've been working on in training, and to put it out on the pitch today is, yeah, really happy with that.
A decent pass, mate.
Yeah.
Should take that.
And so you said John Mitchell's told you the game's 2 by 2 in terms of selection. Yeah. The biggest game of this tournament for another Grand Slam is next week at Twickenham. You're back to where, you know, you all love to be, at home at Twickenham. So when will he tell you who's starting there?
I guess in Tuesday morning, to be fair. We've obviously, it's Easter Sunday, so he's given us Sunday and Monday off, and we're coming on Tuesday. So whether he'll let us know on Monday by person calling us, I'm not too sure. But, you know, whoever gets the nod, look, it's a whole squad effort, and that's like Georgia Brock. She's been in whole Six Nations. She's a great player, up and coming, but she's awesome for Gloucester. When she's had her opportunities for England, she's awesome there. So, you know, she's been a massive part of this Six Nations. She hasn't featured, but, like, massive, and it's the same as everybody. Everyone just has to take their opportunity when it comes in. Like, whatever team takes France next weekend, it's about the whole squad effort to it.
And just sum up for us, because you have been with England for so long now. How good is this team? And
Yeah,
do you feel... I think he's quite cold, actually. How good is this team? And are you where you want to be with that World Cup looming?
No, we're still striving to be better all the time. Look, at half-time we talked about how we wanted to be ruthless around the breakdown, and I think when we watch it back, we look at it and there's be some real areas we want to work on. But obviously, we're always striving to be better, and that's where I think puts Red Roses above everyone else, because we always want to be better. Like, it's not about the scoreboard; it's about our individual. Targets in what we're trying to do in whatever position we do it in.
And just so, how good was Mummy today?
Was Mummy good today? Yeah.
He's still your biggest fan, whatever anybody else says.
When we lost the PWR final, we're walking in the tunnel, and this is the epitomises my life at the moment. He says, "Mummy, you're still the best player I know," and I was like,
"Oh, well, that's all you need."
What more do you want, eh?
Well, go and enjoy the rest of your evening and your Easter weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
It sounds like it's going to be fun with 2 days off, lots of Easter eggs. See you later, Marley. Thank you very much. It's incredible, really, isn't it? The experience Marley Packer has had, and leading this team to have to shift that position slightly, how she talks there, is testament really to the environment that is within that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and she epitomises everything. You know, and I was really interested in what she said about how she thought about how she was going to play today and not get too excited by it all. A young Marley would have probably given 2 or 3 penalties away, but she was so smart and so cool. But you can tell that they all support each other massively.
And I think, look, you look at the reception she gets from the crowd. People appreciate her. She's such a different character to anybody else in this England squad. She's not polished. She's very authentic. And it's what makes her so unique and so special to the Red Roses.
I thought she was about to tackle him there.
She probably will.
Give him another 6 months or so. OK, let's get some Scotland reaction now. Head coach Brian Eason is with Sonia.
Brian, should we accentuate some positives? What do you take from, in particular, that second half from Scotland?
Fight, a bit of pride. We said that at half time that, you know, we didn't do anything we said at the first half. We didn't get territory right. We overplayed in the middle third. We gave far too many easy scores. So we just said, look, let's do what Scotland do. Let's have a little bit of pride, a little bit of fight, play in the right areas. And yeah, I think we can be proud of that second half. I think we can look at accentuate the positives, as you say, and we've got a big game against Ireland next week, and we've got to take that.
Yeah, I was just talking to Helen Nelson about this very question. You know, in terms of bridging the gulf with a side like England, she thinks it's about strength and depth. Do you agree with her?
Yeah, we have to. We've got to keep building that. We can't keep playing with the same players all the time. We've got to really keep pushing that. We've got to keep pushing the narrative around the pathway, keep getting the under-18s, under-20s. If players are playing well, they've got to get opportunities, and that's the only way we're going to keep improving. We've got to keep pushing each other. Bridging the gap's tough against a team like that. You know, they've got 40, 50, 60 good players that could play at this level, and that's what makes it hard. But you know, we will keep closing. We'll keep working hard to close, but you've got to sprint to keep up here.
And how confident are you can end your campaign as you started it with a win? You've got Ireland away, Ireland at home next weekend.
Yeah, look, Ireland at home is going to be tough, and you know, I think they've made great strides as well. They've shown some good performances as well, but they also struggled against a team like England too. So look, we'll dust ourselves off. We'll review first thing tomorrow morning. We'll draw a line under this, and we'll move into Ireland in Edinburgh next week.
Appreciate your time, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A big game for Scotland to finish the tournament. John Mitchell has joined us in the studio. Congratulations on the win. What's your assessment of the performance?
Yeah, thank you, Gabby. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, the performance was a good performance, but it was a little bit untidy. I thought we were very strong at scrum, and we carried very well in the first half. But yeah, I just thought our maul could have been better. There were times where we let them really off the hook. Yeah. When
you did get ball and the forwards built platform for the backs, you had some exciting wing play today, and maybe one of the tries of the tournament. And Claudia MacDonald, of course, came out as player of the match. Are they giving you a few headaches?
Yeah, there's plenty of headaches. It's a great side to select. I think we are one of the best short passing teams in the world. It's something that we identify with, and something that we believe in, and something that we're hard mark on. So it's good to see other teammates serving teammates in a better position.
John, you emptied your bench fairly early. Was that tactical, or was that always the plan? Was you trying to get players on fairly early?
We tend to have a 50-minute plan, but Zoe's gone, PWR finals, started every test match, so probably a chance to look after her battery. Yeah.
Just in terms of some of the selections today and potentially some of the 50-50 calls, are you clearer now? You know your team for next week? Is it going to be a massive sit down with your staff?
No, I have to sit down at home on the table, which I normally do, make a few cups of tea, go through the spreadsheet. There's probably 3 or 4 areas that I'll sit down and really give it some good thinking.
Do you do that by watching this game again, or how does it work in terms of your analysis of those performances?
I don't sit in a video. I'll go back to something if I don't know what I've seen, but generally I'll sit down and get a feel. There's also the tactical element against France as well next week that we need to consider.
Could I just jump in? Just in terms of Claudia McDonald, because she's had an unbelievable game today and she's a fantastic winger. She's also a scrum half. Is she off the table scrum half wise in terms of, taking a player with the versatility to a World Cup, for instance?
Claudia's obviously got that versatility, which we're aware of. 32, to have 14 backs and 18 forwards, then her versatility is definitely a serious consideration. Yeah.
Are you where you thought you would have been if we had a kind of a crystal ball at the start of the Six Nations? Right now, are you happy sitting there, as John Mitchell saying,
we're in a good place. The physical team and the medical team have done a great job in making the best players available. That helps us as coaches. The girls are responding. As I said to them last week, I said, I'm very proud of you. Just keep responding. And it's going to be a year where we're going to just have to continue to adapt, because everyone throws the kitchen sink at us, don't they? Yeah. They're allowed to perform at their best against us as well. So we've just got to get used to that and make sure that we've always got our feet where it needs to be, and make sure that we can just continue to get better.
And of course, last week in the first half, you did have the kitchen sink thrown at you, and that was a really tight first half, and you obviously grew into the game in the second. Today, the scoreline, would tell people that Scotland really weren't in the game in terms of the scoreline, but they did push you in periods of the game. Are you learning enough about your team through this tournament with the opposition that's in front of you?
I learn about this team every week. Simon will vouch for this, and Katie, is that they just train so flippin' hard. They are so competitive, and the opposition team are always making it such a challenge that the girls lose at training, they fail at training, and they don't like it. So hopefully when the pressure really comes on, that we've got enough learnt in that area.
I think that's something that people very easily overlook, just how hard these players train. Yeah. They give you everything every session, don't they?
They have to. The competition for places is so huge, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it's very easy when you see scores like today and last week to overlook that. They get exactly what they deserve because of how hard they work. Can I just ask one question, just about defence, because we talk loads and loads about attack. Yeah. You must be really pleased with your defence.
Yeah. Nathan Catt and Sarah before, where Sarah will come back, they've done a great job. Our front line's very good. Our backfield has got better as the tournaments wore on, but we're definitely bringing really good line speed, and we're doing well in the collision.
John, thank you so much. We've had you out here in the cold for long enough, I think. We've already heard from Marley that you've given them 2 days off, the women, to enjoy their Easter eggs while you're sitting there deliberating about who's going to start against France. So we'll see you at Twickenham.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Happy Easter. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, take care.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. John Mitchell taking a long exit there. The long goodbye from John. I thought he'd want to Scarpa. It is very, very wintry today, these conditions in Leicester, isn't it? But he seems happy in terms of what he's learning about his team from the opposition and from the performances that have been thrown up against them.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you be? I mean, don't get me wrong. On 70 minutes, that second half is 7-all. And then they stretch away. And that's how ruthless they are at the end. England, bang, bang. 2 big punches and it's 21-7 the second half. But they're going to look at that and just say they just keep losing momentum in games at times, don't they?
Yeah.
I thought today, I think previously the bench had come on and added. I thought it just made them a bit disjointed, especially in the back line today. They kind of lost. That's such a smoothness in the first half, didn't they? Like everything came off, whereas second half they just looked like it took them a little bit longer to find their feet together. But then look, when it did, it came off and Abby Dow scores that wonder try.
Okay, should we get a little bit of Scotland reaction because Helen Nelson, captain, is with Sonia.
Helen, look, there's no disgrace at all for any side to lose to this England team, but just give us a sense of the emotions right now.
Yeah, I think we were frustrated at half-time. We showed glimpses of what we were about, but I think you can be putting phases in and then turn over, and England are clinical enough, they score like pretty quickly. But second half, I think we showed again what we're about. Much better second half, and yeah, I think we're proud after that.
Yeah, look, it's a wide question, I appreciate this, but just what do you think is the biggest step that needs to happen for teams like Scotland to bridge this gulf with England?
It's probably the depth, to be honest. I think we're getting there with Scotland. We had 3 new caps today, so we are getting there ahead of a World Cup. It's really important that we build that depth. But you know, England they're a world-class team, and I think they showed that at times today. But like I said, I think second half we put in a really strong performance, and I think we build on that and we move towards Ireland next week.
You did start the campaign with a win against Wales in Edinburgh. How confident are you could perhaps bookend your competition with a win as well at home to Ireland?
Definitely. I think it's always been really close battles with Ireland over the year. They've had a good tournament as well, but we're going to take a lot of confidence, like I said, from that second half and try and build some momentum and take that into next week.
Appreciate your time, Helen. Thank
you. Cheers.
Well, it eventually went to the TMO. Well, it didn't eventually, it straight away went to the TMO. And I'm still not quite sure exactly how they know that Helen Nelson scored that try.
Don't look at me.
She'll take it anyway.
Yeah, but maybe I was going to say, can you just clear this up for us?
Yeah, okay. So it was a line-out, and Scotland had lost the previous 3 line-outs before that, but they were clinical with this. They went through their processes. And it started edging forward, and you can see Kate Madsen there was like, we just need a bit more oomph here.
Get the backs in is what she said.
Get
them backs
involved.
in.
And they did get over the line. It is very messy. We're not quite sure who grounded it, but
I think it was Lisa Thompson.
Lisa Thompson, okay.
You're inside centre, you know.
Yeah, well, Lisa Thompson was given it first of all. Yeah,
it's gone to Helen Nelson, but
that's it.
Regardless, it's a Scotland score, so I'm sure the backs will own that one regardless.
Did you get many of them, Katie? I can't remember.
I think I got you more yellow cards from entering balls.
But it was a try nonetheless, and well deserved at that point in the game. But Evie Gallagher is actually a player you'd want to have a closer look at in terms of the standout and go forward for Scotland in a game where it was very hard for a Scotland player to stand out in that
Absolutely,
sense.
And we said at the beginning it should be key for Scotland, and she really was in defence and attack. Not just slowing the ball down at the breakdown for England, but her dominance, her carries.
4 turnovers.
4 turnovers in this game alone, so you know that's pretty big.
And that will massively ruffle England. We heard Zoe Allcroft, we heard John Mitchell talk about that breakdown. They will be hurt by that. The fact that Evie Gallagher's come in, they knew she was good at it, that she's been one of the top in the Six Nations, and she's done it again to them. I just thought her carry, her ability to ride a tackle and not be put down. She's just a new generation almost of Scottish player, isn't she?
She could have won player of the match today.
Yeah.
She was that good.
Yeah. Do you know what's really good about her as well? She's smart about it. So at the breakdown, if it's not on, she'll see, and she doesn't always go in, so she will disrupt it or she'll steal. She doesn't have to go in for the steal every time.
Scotland knew at the beginning of this tournament that it was going to be the matches at the Hive they were going to be judged on, and unfortunately, you know, so far it's 1-1, lost 1, and that makes the game against Ireland bigger than ever, doesn't it, to finish this tournament? It can finish with a huge high, or it's going to feel like a very disappointing Six Nations.
Yeah, what a game it will be. I mean, we saw Ireland against England, and they were so dominant, and if they come out like that against Scotland, Scotland have really got to raise their game, and we said about them starting dominant here from minute 1, they have to do that against Ireland.
Okay, and you got a word on Scotland at all before?
Just why it was so important they played like that in the second half, just to give them confidence going into next week.
Yeah, yep. Good point. Okay, Sonia has Abby Dow and Holly Aitchison out there on the field.
Two of England's superstars from today's emphatic win against Scotland. Holly Aitchison, Abby Dow. We're going to do that thing where we go, Abby, wow, that try. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a weird one, this pitch, because the fives are sloped, so you're petrified of going out, and I think it took us a little time to work it out, like playing the game. But I think it was just keep your head down and back yourself, and like with the comms and how the balls were like transferred to the edge there, I think that is actually what the backs have done there. Is a privilege to be able to finish that, because that has been years of hard work of us learning how we work together and connect together, and I think we're just going steps forward every single game now, so it's a privilege to be able to finish something that the whole team made.
You're being very modest because you were handing off Scotland defenders right, left and centre. Holly, how much was today about trying to inject some tempo into the game, playing with pace, doing that deliberately?
Yeah, definitely. I think like we pride ourselves every time on playing with pace and enthusiasm, but also with ambition. So, you know, we've spoken loads about how we can essentially put that into the shirt every week, no matter who's in the shirt. So yeah, it was definitely pleasing that we did that again today.
It's really interesting when you say whoever's in the shirt. Just give me a sense of the competition for places, because there's Claudia MacDonald. She used to be a scrum half. She's come in. She scored 2 tries today. Jess Breach, you know, is probably thinking, can I even get back in this team? What's it like?
I think it's just like absolutely outstanding that we have it, not just you're saying the wingers there, but we're saying every single position has depth, and I think it's quite rare in the women's game to have that depth, and I think we're one of the first teams that are really showing and actually really testing that depth this Six Nations, and I think it's a credit to not just the girls that are taking those 23 shirts on the game day, but also the ones that are in camp and pushing everyone, because at the end of the day, a performance like that isn't there without the challenge that we have in the week and how every single player turns up through the week to really help deliver and perform as a one.
I know, so who's playing at 10? You've maybe give us the insight. Who's playing at 10 for England? You want to play at 10 for England next weekend, okay.
I think she knows.
Is it going to be Zoe Harrison or Holly Aitchison? Maybe you can give us the inside track.
I don't think I've got any idea. I think
Abby Dow, okay. That question's not going to be answered, is it, by either of them? Abby Dow for 10 next week, who knows, maybe.
Well, as John Mitchell told us, Sonia, he's got to go home, have a cup of tea and just sit down and decide. And actually, that's a good point, because that's probably going to be one of his big decisions, isn't it? Did she today, for you, put in a performance that gives him a headache?
You sound like Sonia with the tough questions. I think what she had to do is she had to come out and perform, number one. I think she did that. I think Holly looked effortless in the things she did. I thought she kicked well, she managed the game well. And ultimately, it is a brilliant position for England to be in. Zoe Harrison has found form, she's going well. I thought Holly Aitchison also goal kicked well, because we've given her a lot of stick that she hasn't goal kicked as well as Zoe, and that was the thing that kind of tipped it. Ultimately, it is a big old decision. I think the thing that will probably make the decision will be the tactical element of how England want to play against France.
How do England, or how should England be playing against France? At home,
with
at
Zoe
HQ,
Harrison
at the
10
Allianz.
probably.
Oh.
I think they'll want to kick long. They'll want to play deep in France's territory, and Zoe fits that bill perfectly. But it's like you say, and you think Tatiana's going to come back in probably at 12, but he might play Ollie at 12. Yeah, and I think he'll go with Zoe there, just because that's a game they'll want to play.
They've already had their go, Scotland, against France in this tournament, as we know, and they actually got quite close at one point, didn't they? And then France's floodgates opened. What have we made of France so far in the Six Nations? What are we going to see next week?
I think with France, it's always a bit variable, isn't it? It depends what France shows up on the day. Italy run them really close this morning, so I'd like to watch that one back and see exactly what happened. But I think for England, I think they need a bit of more consistency. Like, they've had so much squad rotation, like they've dominated games, but can they do that for 80 minutes against a good side?
The other thing I think on France is how loose to an extent they are with possession. Sometimes, you know, they love an offload, and when it comes off, it's beautiful and they play this great type of rugby. But for me, in the Six Nations, it hasn't clicked all the time, and it just turns over possession. And as we saw, if you give England cheap possession, they are going to make that count. And I think for France could be their own downfall without England having to do a lot.
But at the same time, if you just go through the motions against England, they just knock the living daylights out of you, and then when they do get a chance, they take it.
Thank you so much, Simon, Deborah and Katie. I think we've really enjoyed that performance today, haven't we, from England? So England heading off to the Allianz for yet another Grand Slam. France, though, are in their way, and our coverage starts for you next week at 4:15. So allez to the Allianz. Let's go do it. The Grand Slam on the table. We'll see you next week.
England against Scotland. There is so much for everyone out there to play for. It's a 50th try for England's Marley Packer. Oh, and a steal by Allcroft, the England skip. What a steal for try number 3. That's try number 6. What a half from England. Here comes Claudia McDonald, scorch marks in her wake, and England find the scoreboard. What a hand up by Abby Dow. That is something special. She's gonna go